This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter collar. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. Two a time.
What's up, baby? Let's go. Good morning. Good morning to my Fins family, my cat family, my Heat family, my Fish family. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello to my Finlaws. What is going on, baby? It is your boy, Stephen D, and this is Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. What is going on? Super excited. Oh, my goodness. It has been 10 days since I last seen y'all. I am back. I'm back. I'm rejuvenated. I'm re-energized. What is going on? It is Clock Blockers. I am Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. You can also follow Miami Sports Music everywhere at Miami Sports Music, except on Twitter where we are at MIA Sports Music. Want to remind you all to hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't done so already, hit it. Just hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Hit it, tap it, whatever you got to do to it. Just make it happen. Also, hey, look, if you want to subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow, that is something that you can do as well. We want to see you sign up and become a member and become part of the family today. And subscribing to the channel is free. So if you want to get into the chat this morning, you want to hang out and talk with us, gotta subscribe to the channel. Now, if you want to sign up and become a member today, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you. That's right. Sign up today. Become a member of the family. That's right. Sign up today. Join now. Sign up today. The link is in the description below. You can definitely do that there. We'd love to see you sign up. We got 3 different tiers, and we would love to see you just come out and hang out with us. All right. If you want to help the channel grow by donating, there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat, or you can also use Cash App or PayPal, which is $MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code that's right on your screen, or PayPal, which is also MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. ZSM Sports, the #1 place to get your cars, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. Make sure you follow and call ZSM Sports today. Make sure you hit them up on Instagram at SportsZSM. Lime, less is more events. Lime Tickets. Make sure you guys check them out. Why? Well, because Lime Tickets is the #1 place to get your tickets to any sporting event around the world. I mean, they're absolutely amazing. We love Lime and what they're able to offer us to our fans, because look, at the end of the day, if they're less than the competition, allowing you to have more fun, their prices. If you call 202-930-3533, you'll get a personalized experience with the tickets to the game or the event you want today. Lime takes pride in providing the hottest tickets at great prices with no service fees. Make sure you call them today. So if you want to go to the NBA Finals, or you want to go to the NHL Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, check out Lime. Give Lime a call. Kenny and the whole team will take care of you. They're absolutely amazing. Shout out to Lime. Last but certainly not least, Tailgreeter. Download the app today on your current Apple or Android device. Make sure you follow them today, and follow Tailgreeter on all social media at TAILGREETER. Want to remind you guys, we are in the last couple of days. Tomorrow is the last day to purchase pre-sale tickets for the 3 amazing events that we're doing through Tailgreeter. Baltimore, the Baltimore beatdown in Baltimore this year when the Dolphins come on New Year's Eve. That's right. We're going to have a Saturday night meet and greet. We're going to have game tickets. We have all-inclusive tailgate. That's all available right now. If you go to Tailgreeter, search Baltimore Beatdown. You can get access to all those. And the prices are going to go up on the 1st because we have a awesome agreement with our partners to be able to make this cheaper for the pre-sale. So make sure you guys go do that today. The 2023 Tailgate Tour in Baltimore is going to be awesome. Want to remind you guys, we're also going to Washington for the FedEx Takeover. That's right. We're going to have the same thing, a Saturday night meet and greet, game tickets, all-inclusive tailgate. And if you go to Tailgreeter right now, search FedEx Takeover, and the Philly Vinvasion will also be happening. Same exact thing. Type in Philly Vinvasion. What is up? We got a great show lined up for you today. My man, Nikki Smokes from Barstool Sports. That's right. The newest employee is going to be hanging out with us for a couple of minutes this morning. Not too long. Man, let me tell you, his last 24 hours have been absolutely amazing. He was at Game 7 last night in Boston. He's going to come and hang out with us for a couple of minutes. My man, Wes Goldberg from Lockdown Heat. We're going to recap Game 7, and we're going to preview the NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and your Miami Heat. That's right. So we got a lot to talk about in the NBA. And then later on today, we're going to talk about Dolphins moves and none moves. Dolphins moves and none moves. Because there were some moves that the Dolphins didn't make that I'm like, what is going on? Why aren't the Dolphins doing this? So we're going to talk about that today. It is also obviously Hot Take Tuesday. My man, none other than Nando Talk will be coming on and hanging out with us here in a few minutes. So shout out to Nando Talk. He'll be on with us. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing. Before I get started, happy Memorial Day. If you had a family member that passed away in the service, shout out to you. I know I did. And yesterday we, took honor and remembered them. And we also got to take part in, some of the best barbecues. That's right. That's why yesterday was one last hurrah. I know I haven't been here for the last 10 days. Just for those of you who don't know, I mean, I've been pretty much going strong 3 years in a row. And yeah, man, took a little bit of a break. And it was great because, look, at the end of the day, just kind of needed to recharge the batteries. But I'm here. I'm ready to go. And we got a lot to look forward to. And let me tell you, South Florida sports is the central point of what it is to be a huge sports fan right now. I mean, the NBA and the NHL finals are in the same metro city and have a chance to be part of the championship team, man. It's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited about it, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and this week is absolutely amazing. Just to preview what we got coming on this week, Thursday, I'm hoping to have I've already confirmed Locked On Panthers is going to come on. My man Armando from Locked On Panthers. To all my baseball fans, I'm in the process of trying to get Ryan Ripken, that's right, Cal Ripken's son, who I know up here in Baltimore, to come on Thursday. So we're going to see if we can get him on Thursday. No guarantee with that yet. But tomorrow it is confirmed. I'm talking about Bryant McKinney is going to come on tomorrow morning and hang out with us for about 30 minutes. That's right. Former Miami Dolphin, former offensive lineman. My man in the 305 Miami, Bryant McKinney, will be on tomorrow too. We're going to talk Dolphins. We're going to talk all things football. It's going to be great. It's going to be good times. All things Miami, period. So we got a big show, big show lined up for you all this week. So make sure you guys come and hang out with us. Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show, Monday through Friday, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Man, last night was a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed every second of it. I hope you did too. Man, it's gonna be good times. It's gonna be really good times. So make sure. Do you know for the next 20 days we get potential Panthers Heat, Panthers Heat, Panthers Heat, Panthers Heat, Panthers Heat, Stanley Cup NBA Finals, Stanley Cup NBA Finals, Stanley Cup NBA Finals. I'm ready to go. I don't know about you all, But, man, it's going to be good times. Let me say hello to the people in the chat because I haven't talked to you all in a while. First person here this morning, Trucker Sean. Good morning and welcome back. Fins up. What is going on? How are you? Raphael Courtnight, YouTube thumb 5. YouTube thumb 5. I like it. Let's go, Miami Dolphins. Cats Heat on the way to the finals. Looks like the Dolphins are up next, man. Let me tell you, it would be great. It would be great. Adam Sadowski, Fins up, y'all. Hola, mi gente. Good morning to all. What a time to be a South Florida sports fan. Oh, welcome back, Steven, you slacker. What's up, Manalo? I missed you, buddy. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I don't want to hear about the Dolphins this morning. Okay, I got you, Andrevius. Heat and Panthers, baby. Heat and Panthers. Adam Sadowski said, let's go Heat and Panthers. David says, Tua is fat. Don't be mean, David. Don't be mean. Andrevius 100. New breed, my man Kurt. Great morning, Fins family. Let's keep it going. Heat and Panthers. Cat for Life says, good morning, beautiful people. 2 South Florida teams in the championship game. The Miami Dolphins have just been put on notice. Please don't suck, bro. True words have never been spoken. Do you realize we had what? We had FAU, the Owls in the Final Four. We had the Miami Hurricanes in the Final Four. We now have the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we have the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. By the way, since 2006, that's right, since 2006, the Miami Heat have been to the most NBA Finals, 7. They've been to 7 NBA Finals since 2006. Shout out to them. Pat Riley doing big things. Another stat I saw this morning, absolutely crazy stat. Absolutely crazy stat. Pat Riley has been involved in like 24.7% of the NBA Finals ever. As a player, as a coach, and as a front office person, GM, he has been a part of rounded up to 25%. 25% of the NBA. That's a fourth, for those of you who don't know math. Fourth of the NBA Finals ever Pat Riley's been a part of. That's crazy. A quarter of the NBA Finals Pat Riley's been a part of. Pat Riley, for all intents and purposes, might be the most legendary basketball person of all time. Not going to say player, not going to say coach, not going to say GM. But has anybody accomplished more in basketball, in the history of basketball, than Pat Riley? I'm going to say no. That man is goated for life, cuz. That man is absolutely amazing. And shout out to Pat Riley for putting a winner on the floor year in and year out, being competitive. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And you cannot second guess this man when he makes decisions, because the man's been to a quarter of the NBA Finals. A quarter. Absolutely amazing. Crazier stat I heard last night, the Miami Heat were 2-8 last 10 meetings with the versus the Nuggets. This Miami Heat team is special though, bro. Hey, look, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Man, it took a week to get over that Lakers sweep. Look, I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan, as those of you know. I will address it right now to say, look, my boy didn't fare well against the Nuggets. Straight sweep. Straight sweep. I'll address it now. Wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It was bad. But look, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens with him. But it's all about the Heat now, baby. It's all about the Heat. Man, just let the Heat and Panthers have their shine without dragging the Dolphins into a cat for life. Why Smoke look like he's crying? We still got to play the Joker, bro. Cat for life. Smoke looked like he was crying because, and like I said, I'm hoping to have Smoke on here this morning. You know, he was up in Boston. He made a bet with Dave Portnoy, the president and founder of Barstool Sports. to come on to that if the Heat win, he would get a job at Barstool. And if the Celtics win, he'd have to get a tattoo of a 4-leaf clover saying Dave was right. And for those of you who don't know, Nikki Smokes for a very long time has been going back and forth online with Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports. So this was a lot of hard work for him. The man has been, really just a great person to watch. And he was a part of Hot Take Tuesday right here, with Nando for a long time, which was great. And yeah, man, it was really cool to see. He flew up on a whim after the bet happened, got a ticket to the game, and was there live. So he was crying because his whole life changed. He got a job with Barstool Sports. He got a 1-year contract, full benefits. And yeah, man, shout out to him, man. Doing exactly what he loves to do. And I'm a big fan of Barstool Sports and Dave, and I've been watching them for a long time. So it's really cool to see somebody like Nikki Smokes, who is an awesome person in the community, get a chance to be a part of this world at a very high level. And so he's in the majors now. He's in the majors. He's in the major leagues. I'm pretty excited about it. So, we're hoping to have him on this morning. He said he was going to try to come on, but I wanted to promote him anyway, no matter what, because, look, the man he's hot right now. He's real hot. And, I hope that everything works out in his favor. And I'm excited that, Portnoy does stuff like this. Dave, El Presidente, Stool Presidente, he does stuff like this. So it's really cool to see that he took a chance on a guy from 305 from South Florida. And Nikki Smokes is one of those guys that definitely deserves it. So shout out to Nikki Smokes. Hopefully we'll have him on this morning. Who else we got in the chat this morning? NFL's like Bam looked like Bam yesterday. He did. PJ Max says, go Heat, go Panthers. JR Black says, welcome back, Stephen D. Appreciate it. Cruz Reese says, battery charge equals Lakers got swept and my tear ducts flooded. Whatever, Cruz. I ain't mad at you. That was not it, though. Wish y'all luck on the Panthers because the Joker's about to give Bam the blues. Man, what a hater. Don't hate, man. Hit the like button if you was nervous before the game last night. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I was definitely nervous. Definitely nervous. Let's see. Draco in the building. That boy thick. What? Huh? Mario Gonzalez says, bro, we want Dolphins talk. We're going to get to Dolphins talk later. It's about South Florida this morning. It's about the culture. It's about the Heat, baby. Glad to see you back. Sorry the Lakers lost. Hope you're okay. It's LeBron. I could care less about the Lakers. It's LeBron. Let's go, Owls. Andravia says, I completely forgot about the Final Four. Wow, the Dolphins are due, bro. No doubt, Cap for Life. No doubt. It is on the Dolphins now at the end of the day to step up. And if they don't step up, man, there's going to be hell to pay. Hell to pay. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Pat Riley's been in the quarter of the NBA Finals. That's right. I know. Crazier stat. We already talked about that. Legendary for letting LeBron go. Good morning. It's another beautiful day in Zamunda. Shake Money's in the building. What's up, Shake? How are you? Let's see. LeBum is going to join the Warriors. Oh, please, Caslin. He's not going to do that. Good morning, new listener. I really like your show. I really like the show and your passion for South Florida sports. I've been listening to you for a while. I cut grass in this Florida sun. Go Heat, go Panthers, and fit. Can hear me. If you guys can't, I don't know what's going on with my thing this morning. Anyways, yeah, of course, it's been messing up this morning. Wonderful. My first day back. Love it. Love it. Let me close out some of these things. Maybe that'll make a difference. Maybe that will make a difference. You're back. The cat pulled the plug. Man, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe that made a difference. You're back. Haslam has been to every finals in team history. I know he has. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane that he has. And I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll have to see. Steven, we got to get Big Cat from Barstool on your show, bro. Hey, maybe Cat. Maybe. We'll have to see. Right now, I just need my StreamYard to work properly, and it's not. So we'll have to see what happens, bro. I don't know what's going on. All right. I'm just not going to mess with it for a while. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Waiting for Nikki Smokes to come on. Waiting for Nando to come on. We got both of the, Nando, obviously, co-host. And, he told me he was going to be running a little late this morning, which is fine. And, we got hopefully Nikki Smokes coming on to the show here in a little bit. And then we also got Wes Goldberg of Locked On Heat this morning, too. That's going to be a good, awesome interview because we're going to talk Game 7, everything that went down last night in Game 7. We're going to preview the NBA Finals. What is it going to look like? The Joker versus Himmy Butler. So we'll have to see, man. It's going to be awesome. Let's see here. Caleb Martin. Yes, definitely. Caleb Martin is the man. Revenge, Heat in 7, Heat culture, Dade County. What's up, Dade County? Cat for Life says, support noise, cool people. He goes against the grain, pushes the limit, and loves pizza, bro. Do love me some pizza. I'm so proud of my Heat and Panthers for helping out. Put Mr. Injury Prone Man on notice. AFC Championship game or certified bust. Batman's Pop says, man, boy, y'all gonna be. They get Dolphins get no outs today for this year. None. If they don't pull off what the South Florida sports teams have done, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Hey, so just out of curiosity, what did you all do this weekend? Did y'all have any good barbecues? Did y'all hang out with family? Was it fun? Was it a lot of fun? Let me know what y'all did. Would be interested to know. Did y'all go over to a family member's house? Whatever it was, would love to know what you did this weekend. The closer we get to week 1, the spicier it's going to get. Cesar says, good morning, Steven. We are glad you're back, bro. I appreciate it. Caleb Martin should have won Eastern Conference Finals MVP, if we're being honest. He did. Look, the only reason they got to the Eastern Conference Finals was Jimmy. Let's be perfectly honest with ourselves. But Jimmy definitely slowed down in the Eastern Conference Finals. And rightfully so, man. The man's been, putting up all these crazy numbers. Yeah, so we'll we'll have to see. It'll be insane. We'll have to see what happens. Caleb Martin, though, what's going to happen in the NBA Finals is to be decided. But that Denver Nuggets team is legit, and the Dolphins are going to be. The Dolphins and the Heat are going to be up for a big test. Did he ignore Sean's question about the fan base? What was Sean's question about the fan base? I told you all my stuff's been going a little crazy. I'm looking for Sean's question. I don't see Sean's question. Where was it? Tell him to put it back, finishing first. Went down to Miami to spend some time with the family. PJ Max says yes. Yep. Everyone showed up but Bam. Bam showed up in spots. Last night. The refs will even things out. No worries. Man, let me tell you, everybody was hating on the refs throughout the whole playoffs. Everybody was. It's funny because I was talking with somebody and they're like, it's an epidemic. The refs and bad calls are an epidemic. And I was like, really? Is it that serious? They definitely were something. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, man. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. Hit the like button, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Can't grow without your help. If you're not a member, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Boys trip to Atlanta. It was fun, says Diaz. All right, sounds like a plan. Like it, Paul E. Ferguson. Morning, Stephen D. Said I went and got a new puppy this weekend. All right, what kind of dog, Paul? Shout out to you, my guy. Shout out to you. They want to be seen. We're gonna see. Did you see how the NBA ref Eric Lewis is under investigation for having a troll account? I did see this, PJ, and you know, I don't know if I'm upset with it. You know how many people probably have troll accounts? If we're going to start penalizing people for that, come on now. Like, what's the problem with him having a troll account? Good for him. I don't see anything wrong with having a troll account as an NBA referee. It's not worse than what Tim Donaghy did, who actually bet on games and changed the outcome of games. You know, Dolphin State of Mind says, I went to watch the NAL Arena football, Orlando Predators versus the West Texas Warbirds. Went with the fam and had a blast. Orlando Predators, man. Shout out to Arena football. TD's a low-key hater, Steven. I question his South Florida loyalty. Hey, man, look, it'll be interesting. Steven, I said, do we get to extend no Mafia and panels because you took a week off? No, Trucker Sean. That does not happen. That does not happen at all. So, all right. Without further ado, it is quarter before the hour, and it is time to talk some NBA Finals, some Miami Heat basketball with the man, the myth, the legend from Locked On Heat. Ladies and gentlemen, where's it at? All right, hold on. Hit the wrong button. Mr. Wes Goldberg, what is going on? Let me bring you in. Everything's messing up this morning. What's up, Wes? How are you?
I'm good. Didn't sleep all that much. Just really excited about this opportunity to see the Miami Heat in the finals, to cover the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals coming to Miami. It's really exciting times.
It is absolutely amazing. Before we get started, man, let's just kind of recap. You haven't been on the show in a couple weeks. The Miami Heat went up 3-0. We thought all was right with the world, Wes, and then they lost 3 straight. What happened before we get into Game 7 last night? What happened in those 3 games where they lost 3 straight?
I think the Celtics just sort of rediscovered who they were in the regular season. I think you have to give a lot of credit to the Boston Celtics for fighting back in this series. That is a really talented, deep basketball team, and they showed a little bit more resolve than I had thought, than anybody had thought. After you saw them lose the way that they folded in Game 3, I think everybody, including myself, I was at Kaseya Center for Game 4, and I was like, all right, like, let's start getting ready for the finals. I was already doing my Denver Nuggets scout work that afternoon. Like, it was literally like I was pre-writing a bunch of stuff and pre-planning a bunch of Heat Nuggets content. I was like,
you're starting to jinx yourself, Wes. You were starting.
I'll take the blame for that. Yes, absolutely. But I should have known better. But yeah, like I said, you got to give the Nuggets, the Celtics credit. They went back to that small ball lineup. They started switching everything. They schemed some things that were opportunities for Miami in the first 3 games. They got rid of those mismatches and advantages for the Heat in those 3 games. And then, they got hot from 3-point range finally too. And that was, again, they shot 40% from 3 over a 2-game span. That was more in line with where they were in the regular season when they shot 39% from 3-point range. So all of those things to say that it felt like the Celtics were becoming who they were in the regular season, which was a team that won 13 more games than the Miami Heat did. They were the better team in the regular season. I don't think anybody disputes that.
Nope. I agree.
The biggest difference when it came down to it, they showed the resolve that I thought was very impressive when they won every game where they had to win to keep their season alive. And the Heat did not. But when it came to Game 7, and now the Heat you could tell me that game 6 was a must win. It's not a must win until you have to win, right? Until it's the last game or your season's over. That's the only must win that exists in sports. Until you are truly against the ropes, when your back is against the wall, as the Miami Heat were in game 7, you're not really going to be able to match that urgency sometimes. And I thought what the Heat did in game 7 last night was they showed that, okay, you might be more talented. You might have the longer, bigger, more athletic team. You may have won 13 more games in the regular season than we did. You might have the better net rating, the better three-point shooting percentage on balance, and all these things. But we're mentally tougher than you are. And in game 7 in Boston, I thought that mattered. I thought the Celtics were a little jittery in front of their home crowd, where they now are 5-6 in these playoffs. And I thought the Miami Heat were the team that showed the cool, calm, collectedness that you need to execute your game plan. And they rolled over the Celtics in the game that mattered the most.
Definitely. I was watching Inside the NBA, last night in the post game. Shout out to Chuck, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq. And, Kenny and Chuck were kind of talking about what a team should do as far as hitting threes are concerned. And we've kind of come to this place in the NBA, and I think we've even discussed it when you've been on the show before, where teams all of a sudden just want to live and die by the three. And at one point last night, Boston goes up in game 7, and I think they were 0 for the first 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
they missed their first 10 for sure. Might have been the first 13.
Well, and one of the things, Kenny's one of the best 3-point shooters in the history of the NBA. Or pure shooters. And Kenny was like, look, even when I was in my prime and I was hot, I was only shooting about 60% at most from the three. Every time the Celtics went down the court, they were shooting and pumping it up. And don't get me wrong, I feel like the Miami Heat have had a couple of games in this postseason where they were trying to live and die by the three. Why are teams going that way? And, it's amazing to me, because the only team that I've ever seen to semi-successfully do it are the Golden State Warriors. Otherwise, I don't understand why teams are shooting 70% of their shots from the three-point line. And that's not an exaggeration. They were at one point during the game last night, over 3/4 of their shots were from behind the arc.
Yeah, I think during that same conversation on the broadcast, Charles Barkley said, and I think it was a very good point, and it's something I've kind of been thinking about for the last couple of years, is Steph Curry and Klay Thompson came into the league and did exactly what you just said. Like, the Warriors won titles that way. The Warriors also won titles with amazing defense. Let's not forget. Like, they didn't just jump shoot their way to titles. They played great defense, switching everything, completely revolutionizing what it was when we think about versatile defense. And they also had Kevin Durant, which mattered. But ever since Steph and Klay kind of took the league by storm as the Splash Brothers, it feels like everybody thinks that they could just do that. And those are two of the greatest shooters to ever live. And if you're not if you're a great shooter, but you're not an all-time great shooter, there's still a big difference between those two things. So I think that's certainly part of it, just the style of play that gets pretty contagious. And people want to do it. But I also think it's not every three-pointer isn't created equal, right? There's different kinds of three-pointers. And Miami's three-pointers last night, I thought for the most part were very open. Boston went back to that drop style defense where Gabe Vincent comes around to Bam Adebayo's screen, and Al Horford, instead of coming up to kind of show on Gabe Vincent and just show him some arms, show him a hand, drops back into the paint to avoid Bam Adebayo rolling and getting easy points at the basket, or Caleb Martin or Jimmy Butler cutting behind him. And every time Gabe, Duncan, Caleb came off that screen, there was just room in front of them. And so and Bam Adebayo setting maybe the best screens he's set in the playoffs last night. Like,
everybody said Bam didn't show up last night, and I'm like, he did in some ways. He definitely did in some ways.
The Heat do not win that game if not for Bam Adebayo. I promise you. Like, the screen setting, we could talk about the shot making. Those shots are not nearly as open. Go back and watch those screens, man. That is a lost art in the NBA. Like, Steven Adams in Memphis is like the only guy setting screens like that right now. Rudy Gobert used to. And it's like, guys just don't set hard screens and hold anymore. Everybody's slipping out of it, kind of just making a little bit of shoulder contact, too afraid to get fouls. Bam picked up 3 early fouls in the first half. And I wondered what was going to happen in that second half when he was going to pick up that 4th foul and if Spo was going to keep him in. He never picked up that 4th foul. He had 0 fouls in the second half. He is such a good, clean screen setter. And he was creating so many openings for Miami shooters. They don't win that game if not for Bam Adebayo on offense. Defensively, it was another great masterpiece performance by Bam on defense. But in terms of your question of why they're shooting three, those are the threes you want. You want to shoot those threes where you're coming off that screen and you got nothing but space in front of you, and you could just sort of step into a clean, open look. On Boston's side, I didn't think that they were getting those shots at all. There was one where Marcus Smart like turned around in the corner and just launched from 3-point range. Jaylen Brown kind of halfway through the shot clock, just settling for a 3-pointer instead of putting the ball down or passing to a teammate. That's the difference between Miami's 3-point shooting and Boston's 3-point shooting.
What is up, Wes?
Hey.
I was just waiting in the background. I think Steven's having some technical difficulties, so I just wanted to hop in. But you're pretty spot on, man. Them Heat, it's a pretty exciting time, but it's been an interesting time as well, man. Not that all threes are created equal. I was listening into that part when I was hopping in, man. But I'm excited, man.
It's very exciting. I don't know what you thought watching Game 7, but you know, I think that when you see Jason Tatum go down on that first play with the ankle, right? And I don't know about you, but if I'm not one of these guys that like wishes for the other player to get hurt.
Never.
Like I never want to win that way. And that ankle was bothering him for the entire game. But this is what I kept saying. And if Celtics fans want to use the ankle as an excuse, I think it impacted them. I think it took the wind out of their sails. But my counter to that is, well, that's a you problem. That's your fault that it took the wind out of your sails. Like Jimmy Butler's been playing with a bum ankle for 13 games. Gabe Vincent missed a game because of an ankle in this series. Bam Adebayo has been beat up and bruised. Tyler Herro's not even in the game in this series because of the broken hand, and yet no Victor Oladipo. And yet every single time the Heat deal with injuries, they just find other ways to win and be impactful and close out series. And for Boston, it's like that's what shook you. He stayed in the game. Tatum like rolled his ankle and stays in the game. Credit to Jason Tatum, but like that's all it took to shake you in Game 7. And that's why I kept talking about like I think the Celtics are more talented. I don't even know that that's arguable at this point, but it doesn't matter. Like this is who they are. They're a soft team, and the Heat are mentally tough in a way that I don't think any other team in the NBA is. And in a Game 7, that it goes to show you how much that matters more. It's so easy to draw up a team on an Excel spreadsheet and be like, all right, we got this many 6'7" guys who could shoot this from 3-point range, and that stuff's important. But when it really comes down to it, like who's going to step up, you know? And I thought Boston was rattled in front of their home crowd, and Miami kind of thrived in it. And that's the difference.
Yeah, that mental toughness definitely the difference, man. Like where Boston is at times seemed to get lost. Like Miami seemed to revel in that villain role. They were in Boston in the Garden, amping it up, like saying, "Where you at, guys?" Like they loved that feeling, and I think they didn't get shook in Boston. And the fact that the Celtics, they did seem to get thrown off by Jason Tatum getting hurt, and he, like you said, he stayed in the game. That mental toughness, it's that big difference maker, that killer. That I don't know if it's Heat culture, what Spo inspires the team, the players. I'm sure it's a conjunction of all of it. But that's the difference, I think, that's going to help us beat the Nuggets. Like the Celtics, they didn't even lose their best player. It's not like they were worrying what's happening to him in the locker room. Is he going to be okay? They saw him right next to him, and they got shaken. The Heat, we lost guys. We've got guys back. Haven't lost the beat. Tyler Herro, 20 points a game. We missed him all this series, man. If he comes back, add that mental toughness with some real scoring juice coming in as well, I think we could be shaking some heads and scaring some people against the Nuggets, man.
What are they?
I think we're tougher than them.
I think the Nuggets are an awesome team. I think they're well coached. I think the Heat, if you're gonna do like a mental toughness scale, I think it tips in Miami's favor. But Denver there's some bad MFers too. Like Jamal Murray, cut from the same cloth as Jimmy Butler. Like that dude is a killer.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic, we've seen the Heat get under his skin before. But that dude, make no mistake, he wants to win, and he's got a lot on the line here in terms of a potential all-time great to win his first ring. Like there's a lot on the line. Michael Malone is a heck of a coach, and he's kind of the guy that gets them rallied up in the way that Jimmy Butler does for Miami, right? Where I think Spo is more of that calming force, and Jokic is their calming force. But that's the Nuggets are that is a tough matchup, dude. And like the fact that they're heavy favorites to win the finals, I get it. If they win the championship, they are deserving champions. But these are the two teams that I think deserve the most out of just the playoffs, not including the regular season. Denver was the number 1 seed in the West too, so they were expected to be here. But these are the two best teams in the entire playoffs, the Nuggets and the Heat. And I think the thing that set them apart from everybody else, it's not even the talent on Denver's side. It's not necessarily the talent on Miami's side, although Jokic and Jimmy Butler were the two best players in the postseason. So that's certainly a big part of it. But just like their efficiency, they play clean games. Neither team turns the ball over. They're not going to get killed on the boards or get killed from 3-point range. Like they're going to keep all those margins close enough, even if like that's their opponent's specialty. And they're not going to beat themselves. And that's why I think they're the last two teams standing.
Wes, what's up, man? Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties. The internet monster came and got me. There was a glitch in the matrix. Hey man, so I don't know if you guys already touched on this or not, because I was restarting my computer when everything was going on. One of the things that I saw in the Eastern Conference Finals was Jimmy Butler kind of losing a little bit of steam off of what he had in the first 2 rounds. You know, you're going up against, as you were just noting, the Joker and that tough and young Denver Nuggets team, and they have a lot of energy. They came off a 4-0 sweep. They didn't play 7 games. How is Jimmy gonna be effective in the finals when it looks like he's already, losing steam?
It's a great question. It's the biggest loss when they failed to close out the Celtics in 4, maybe even 5 games. That's the biggest thing. It's the thing I kept coming back to. But that right ankle is clearly bothering him. He does not have the same kind of lift that he did against Milwaukee, for instance. But there are moments of aggression that if you're Jimmy Butler and you're the Heat, that you're trying to harness at the right times. And usually in the fourth quarter, I think back to Game 6, right? Like Jimmy Butler, 9 points to the first 3 quarters of Game 6, 15 points in that fourth quarter. Finally puts his head down, attacking Al Horford on those switches, getting to the free throw line. Like he has it in him for a quarter, right? And then last night too, like absolute ruthless, just rude, mean stuff to Jason Tatum in that fourth quarter when Miami's offense bogged down for like 2.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Spo calls a timeout. They come out. Jimmy Butler attacks Jason Tatum. He hunts Jason Tatum out on the switch and then attacks him 3 times in a row against the guy who's on a bum ankle, and his team was like down 16 points or something at that time. And he just did that. He's like, all right, here's my opportunity to stomp on your throats. I'm going to do it by going up against your best player who's a little upset because he hurt his ankle. Like that's just mean stuff, but that's that killer mentality that Jimmy Butler has. And again, in the fourth quarter. So I think if you're the Heat, the whole idea is, and this has been the case even against the Celtics, let's keep this thing close for 3 quarters. And then we can trust Jimmy to take it home in the fourth quarter. I don't think there's any more 56-point masterpieces the way that we saw against Milwaukee. I
would love to see it. I don't
think there's any of those in the chamber. But if you're getting these kind of performances from Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, if Bam Adebayo can do something more offensively, that's going to be enough for the Heat to keep these games competitive. And then at that point, I guess you ride Jimmy Butler down the stretch.
Hey, Caleb Martin had a big, I don't know, did you guys discuss Caleb in his Game 7 performance last night?
Oh my gosh.
Number one, do you think, real quick, should he have been the Eastern Conference Finals MVP?
You know what? I wish he would have gotten it. I understand giving it to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the best player. He was the fulcrum from everything they did. Like at the end of the day, Caleb Martin was playing off of Jimmy Butler, right? The Celtics were sending doubles at Jimmy Butler, and that opened up things for Caleb Martin. So I'm okay just sort of giving it to the best player. Otherwise, you end up sometimes with like these weird, like Andre Iguodala has a Finals MVP and Steph doesn't until last year, and like that's kind of weird.
That is when you think about it.
Yeah, so it's like. I'm good with Jimmy getting it. I half expected Jimmy to turn on the stage and just be like, I don't even want this, and just hand it to Caleb. But you're not like allowed to do that. So I understand why he didn't. But like he didn't even want the stupid trophy. He was like, I don't know if you saw him during the ceremony. He kind of was like looking at it. He's like, I don't really care about this. Now I just have to hold this thing. No thanks.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I'm sorry. You asked me to go real quick.
He wants the other hardware that comes in about a week and a half, hopefully, and that's what it is. I feel like a lot of teams do that.
Isn't it so funny that him and Jokic had the same reaction? The reporters asked Jokic after the game. It was like, "What does this mean to you?" And he's like, "Nothing."
He doesn't care about it.
It doesn't. First of all, it's a made-up award.
The NBA changed the names of all these trophies and everything this year to kind of give it a bigger, I don't know, appeal.
Yeah, it doesn't. And these guys don't care. Like, first of all, it's a made-up stupid thing. It's like, I'm the conference finals MVP. Like, are we gonna have a second round MVP next? Like, who cares? I get it that they're trying to make the conferences matter. It's kind of like the pennant used to be in Major League Baseball. Like, that's what they're trying to do. But like, nobody, these guys don't care. When they get to this point, you think that the Heat care about winning the Eastern Conference? I mean, they do, of course, because it means that they go to the NBA Finals.
By the way,
but
7 times they've won the Eastern Conference since 2006. The most in the NBA since 06.
Most finals appearances since 2006. This is a team that just knows how to win. And it's so. You watch a team like the Atlanta Hawks or even the 76ers, who had a great regular season, had the MVP, and it feels like it's so hard for them to win playoff rounds. It's so hard for them to win a playoff series. And for Miami, it's almost the expectation to win. It's weird when they don't win a round in the playoffs, right? It's weird, like, if they go to the playoffs and they don't win a series. They don't necessarily have to make the finals every year, but it's just weird when they don't make a long run. And for a lot of these teams, it's like there's a wall in front of them that they can't just jump over.
Miami, Daniel Taylor with the $10 donation. Thank you. Says Miami's the first team to play, the first play-in team to make the NBA Finals. That's Heat culture. Look, I think the play-in means a lot more than people are gonna, them doing what the Lakers and the Heat did this year makes the play-in that much more big a deal. Would you agree?
I don't know that I would go that far, just because the Heat were the 7th seed and they dropped to the 8th seed in the play-in tournament. It's not like they were like the 9th or 10th seed. If they were the 9 or 10 seed and needed the play-in to get into the playoffs, I think we would have a better conversation about the play-in tournament mattering. If anything, I just think it's sort of this weird kind of speed bump in the way. Like, the Lakers and the Heat, if not for the play-in tournament, would have been in the playoffs. The Heat actually would have been a higher seed if not for the play-in tournament. So I won't go so far as to say that the play-in tournament matters, but I'm glad that we point this out, though, because there's this thing that, like, ESPN and Fox Sports and all these people keep saying the Heat are the second number 8 seed in NBA history to make the finals.
Correct.
And that's not completely accurate. They're the first number 8 seed in a full season to make the NBA Finals. The Knicks made it as an 8 seed in a lockout shortened season. The standings were much more compressed that year. The difference between the 8th seed Knicks and the number 1 seed that year, I think, was like 6 wins. The difference this year was 14 wins between Miami as the 8th seed and Milwaukee as the number 1 seed. I want to change how we are presenting that stat, that factoid on the national broadcast. The Heat are not the Heat are not the second number 8 seed to ever make the finals. They are the first one in a full season to make the NBA Finals. And I don't think that I'm just splitting hairs there, and I don't think it's semantics. I think that is materially important when we're talking about the historic nature of what it is that the Miami Heat have done here.
I mean, look, I'm excited about it from all the standpoints, because Pat Riley has been a part of a quarter of the NBA Finals in NBA Finals history. By the way, that's a stat as a player
in every decade,
as a GM,
in every decade. It's since he made his first one. He is I'm trying to think of like a corollary. Like, he's sort of like what Red Auerbach used to be to the NBA, right? Just this guy that was just always around. I don't know that there's even an NFL comparison, right? Like, where Jerry Jones, maybe, like, in a weird, more racist way. Like,
I don't mean to laugh, but
like, I don't know. Like, he is such a staple, an institution in the NBA. And a lot of credit, like, he brought that culture to Miami. He built a championship organization from literally nothing. Like, there was no team in Miami, right? Like, they are one of the youngest franchises in the NBA. And for the most part, all they have known is winning at a high level. All those runs in the 90s, never really fulfilling those championships, finally getting that first one in 2006, the LeBron era, those 4 finals runs, 2 championships. And now the Jimmy Butler era, 2 finals appearances in 4 years, Will they get over the hump, I guess, is the big question. But honestly, I don't even know that maybe I'm just like, I'm still kind of high on the fumes of winning the Eastern Conference and beating Boston in 7 games in Boston. I don't even like care about the NBA Finals right now. Like, I'm good. Like, I think this accomplishment is so remarkable. Like, I don't want to like do loser talk right now, but it feels like no matter what happens in the finals, like I feel like this is a huge win for the Miami Heat.
It definitely is, because there was chatter of maybe, if they didn't get out of the first round, scrapping it all and revamping everything. That was a lot of chatter. And now you got to be like, all right, well, no matter what happens, what can we do to help Jimmy get to that next level next year? And does that Ja Morant, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, all those names come into play, all those big names come into play. And, does Pat Riley try to make a move for one of those big name guys to try to bring him to South Florida to help get them over the top? And look, I'll tell you right now, if the Heat end up winning, which I want them to in every way, shape, or form,
sure,
it'll be, I don't know if this is fair to say, but it'll be, I don't want to say least talented, but there's no big 3. There's no big 2. It is Jimmy and everybody else.
Well, if Caleb Martin plays like he did against Boston, that dude is that dude's a superstar. There was the Miami Herald had this stat here. I got it right here. I can pull it up real quick. Unbelievable company that he was keeping with the numbers that he was posting in that Celtics series. All right, Caleb Martin, 135 points on 60% shooting against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is actually from CBS Sports. Here are 6 players, only 6 players in league history have scored more points on 60% shooting in the conference finals in the past 4 years. This is the name Caleb. These are the names that Caleb Martin is keeping company with: Shaquille O'Neal,
Yep,
LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Sean Kemp, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Dwight Howard. And I think a lot of people forget how dominant Dwight Howard was in those Orlando Magic teams.
I don't. I think he's a lot of people disagree. I think he's a top 75 player of all time, personally.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. If you don't think that, you're just too young, and that's fine. Yeah. But you watch those, like, he was just a force. There was an legit argument, who was the best player in the NBA, Dwight Howard or LeBron James. That was an argument for 2 years.
Yep. When he was with Orlando, of course he was. Those Stan Van Gundy teams. Yep. That's
the company that Caleb Martin is keeping, man. That's crazy.
Now, to be fair, Caleb did get waived by the Hornets, and I mean, man, Michael Jordan and that Charlotte Hornets team just has to be kicking themselves with some of the bad moves that they've made over the years.
I hear you on that. They did keep the other one. They kept Cody Martin, who had a good year for them. Had a good regular season for them.
He did.
But I think there's something to be said about them splitting up, going their separate ways, and Caleb coming to Miami, where they were able to kind of harness his skills. Like, I don't know that Caleb is doing this in Charlotte. You know what I mean? I think that was like 89% of the credit goes to Caleb Martin, but a lot of this stuff is also situational. And I think the Heat put him in a great situation too.
Nando, you agree? Caleb, you said Caleb's a monster in the background. I know you were fixing some stuff there.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that, Wes. But no, I mean, I love Caleb Martin, man. I think you have a chance. You have a great point, man. He has a chance to cement himself as like an actual superstar, like a household name, if he performs the same way he did in Boston, in Denver. He carries that same energy, that same driving force for the Heat. And I know, Steven, you were saying we don't have a big 2, but Caleb Martin, man, he's becoming that kind of guy. He's still got a couple of years on his contract too.
You go look at that. You go look at the roster right now for the Miami Heat. The second person should be Bam. Bam is not an offensive force. He sets picks. He's he's a very important role player, and we don't win that game last night without him. I agree with Wes's statement.
I don't call them role players. I call them teammates, baby. Come on, Steven.
I will push back. I think Bam Adebayo is legitimate second best player on this team, and he's a legitimate
great
number
passes
2
last night, man.
He's a great passer, and
don't show up for some games.
He has shown up, and that's what I'm pushing back against. He has shown up for every single game in these playoffs. What he is doing defensively is so important, and I think when we have these conversations, we forget about an entire side of the court sometimes. He is the linchpin to Miami's defense. Like Jimmy Butler has had bad defensive games in these playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like after rolling his ankle, like there was moments in this series where he had to ask Max Strus to fill in for him on Jason Tatum so that he could get a breather. Like I'm not even trying to take anything away from Jimmy Butler. I'm just trying to prove my point about how consistently great Bam Adebayo has been in these playoffs. It's Anthony Davis and it's Bam Adebayo, and then a gulf of the best defenders in the postseason. What Bam has done in these playoffs is one of the great defensive performances I've seen in a very long time. Up there with like peak Draymond Green in Golden State. It's up there with some of the Chris Bosh stuff in 2013 and 2014 when he's just dominant defensively. We forget how great of a defender Chris Bosh was. I think we're talking about Bam Adebayo in very different ways if Miami did have a bona fide number 2 scorer. And I think that's to your point. They don't really have that number 2 scorer, especially with Tyler Herro injured. But as in terms of just a player, he is an absolute star, Bam Adebayo is. And I think these playoffs, if anything, have proven that even more to me and to people who care about the defensive side of the court, because without him, the Heat they're not even close to being in this position. They don't beat the Bucks without Bam Adebayo. Like this is a first round and out team without Bam.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. From Locked On Heat, I got Wes Goldberg. It is Hot Take Tuesday. Nando talk. Myself, Stephen D. We're here talking NBA Finals, Game 7 victory, Miami Heat. Let me ask you another. Let's dive into Tyler Herro. He was available last night on the bench. If I'm correct, am I correct in saying
available to play? No, he was not available to play, but he was on the bench. He's traveling with the team. Yeah.
Okay. Is he going to be able to play in the NBA Finals?
So if he does, look, I think it's still very much up in the air. It very much depends on how that hand holds up, where his conditioning and his rhythm is. I think the last thing you want to do is throw him out there before he's ready, right? Like these hand injuries, especially on that shooting hand, can be very iffy. And and if you dive on one other loose ball or get hit, smacked with somebody's, maybe fouling you on a jump shot, that could be painful and it could be bad and it could set you back a long ways. But the cast is off, the brace is off. He is doing shooting and dribbling drills now, which is a good sign, and was just recently cleared to resume basketball activities, which is maybe what you were referring to.
Yeah.
I think if he does come back in the finals, it won't be game 1. It'll be probably game 3 or 4 in Miami would seem like the right thing to do. But I also think it depends on what Miami looks like in those first 2 games, whether or not they feel like they need to rush him back. Like if they go down 0-2, they lose the first 2 games in Denver, totally possible. Maybe there is a little bit more urgency to bring Tyler Herro back sooner than later. But yeah, I think
if they split in Denver,
maybe you wait a little bit. I don't know. I think it does come down. I don't think that would be as much of driving forces. How's he feeling? How's that hand? How worried are we about protecting it? But yeah, I think, look, I mean, initially it was ruled as a 6-week injury, and that would have been a minimum 6-week injury. And that was 2 nights ago was 6 weeks. Right. So, if we're at the point now where it makes sense for him, even based on the initial diagnosis, for him to start trying to come back here. So, maybe like I said, I think maybe midway through these NBA finals is when we could start expecting some realness to some of Tyler Herro return.
Kevin Love. Kevin Love
call, man.
Got a lot of playing time, and over the last 2 games got no playing time pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Kevin Love, and why all of a sudden was he playing and now not playing?
It just wasn't the series for him in Boston. Like as soon as they went small, when they kind of scrapped the double big lineup to start games, there was no place to put Kevin Love because they were running basically 4 perimeter players and trying to find somewhere to hide Kevin Love. And, they were pushing the tempo. He was huffing and puffing. Like after 4 or 5 minutes, would literally wave to the sideline and just ask to come out, which credit to him, like for that self-awareness. Like he knew like, hey, this ain't my series anymore. And I think it took Spo probably 1 game too late to realize that, if we're being honest. But I also understand him wanting to try to roll with the guys that got him there. And you did have like a 3-1 lead at that point in the series. So maybe you didn't want to overreact too much. But either way, it just wasn't the series for him. That doesn't mean anything about Kevin Love. It just means that, hey, this was a team that went smaller. They were winning games by going smaller. So the Heat had to adjust and they went smaller and they started Caleb Martin. to match up, and that makes sense. But I think against the Denver Nuggets, Kevin Love very much does have a place in that series.
You know, one of the things, speaking of Dwight Howard playing overseas, one of the things that I thought was really interesting this year was Tristan Thompson playing with the Lakers, signing, 2 days before the season ends. Kevin Love getting released, from the Cavs out of his contract, figuring out where he's going to go. What is it about these late season veteran acquisitions that make them such a dynamic value for a team trying to make a championship run? Because we saw what Tristan Thompson added to LA. We're seeing what Kevin Love's adding to the Heat. Look, Blake Griffin was there for the Celtics. He didn't get a lot of playing time, but he's, a leadership person in the locker room. What is it about some of these names that just makes sense for these teams making a playoff run?
Well, in specific to Kevin's place in Miami, he gave them a real power forward. And I thought with the Heat, we're not a very versatile team before the buyout addition of Kevin Love. And by adding Kevin Love, they became a much more versatile team. It gave them just another look, another option exactly where they didn't have to play Caleb Martin at that 4 spot anymore if they didn't want to. If they were playing a bigger lineup like they did against Milwaukee, like they did against the New York Knicks, they just had another body to throw at guys like Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle and Brook Lopez. And I think that was very important. And in terms of a locker room addition, I remember talking with Doc Rivers because the Sixers were trying to get Kevin Love. It was basically Philly and Miami.
Yep.
And I remember talking to Doc Rivers about it, like a week after Kevin Love signed in Miami. And I asked him why they wanted Kevin Love, and he basically was like, he didn't say anything about on the court stuff. He was like, hey, like this guy has won championships. He's been in the biggest games, and in the playoffs, that stuff really does matter. You want that guy in your locker room. And honestly, I think he was he was so reinvigorating to Miami's locker room.
He was.
I thought the Heat, after running it back, they got a little sick of each other. It's just, okay, like really, guys, like they weren't making shots. They were basically hovering around 500 all season long. And I think some of the verve that defined last year's team, the excitement of adding the guys like PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry to that group, contributions from guys like Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin that were new, Max Strus, new last year, wasn't the case this year. And it just felt, it was getting stale in there. And I think Kevin Love came in, and this is the way I kept putting it on Locked On Heat. He was like when you're young and maybe your parents had a pool and your friend came over and his parents didn't have a pool, and your friend comes over and he's like, wow, you guys have a pool here? That's awesome. You guys must be in the pool all the time. And you're like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. I haven't been in it in a long time, but I guess it's pretty cool that we have a pool. Like that was Kevin Love walking into that locker room. It was like, wow, this is how you guys do things. You guys are so professional, the culture stuff, all this stuff. Wow. You guys are so well coached, so well prepared for every game. And I think the Heat guys looked around and was like, yeah, I guess it is pretty cool to be here. Like this is pretty neat what we got going on. And it kind of breathed new life into that locker room. It kind of made them appreciate what it is that they had. And you could feel it being in that locker room. Like it felt different with Kevin Love in it. And he's a great guy. He's one of the most beloved teammates in the NBA. You ask anybody who's ever played with him. Cool Kevin Love stat. He's been to the playoffs 5 times in his career. He's gone to the finals each of those 5 times. He has never missed the finals when he's made the playoffs.
What?
That's also equally reflective of how bad those Minnesota teams were. But it was, he went to the finals 4 times in Cleveland, right? Then they missed the playoffs every year after that. They lost in the play-in tournament last year. And then
every
this year,
time he's been to the playoffs, he has made the NBA finals.
Yeah. Now you could say you could hold the play-in.
That, Wes, and
it's
I'm
already been tweeted. I stole it. It's already been tweeted.
That's crazy. That's insane.
But that's the kind, like, going back to what Doc Rivers was talking about, like that stuff matters, man. Like that's like just like that championship mentality, the knowing how to win games on the margins. Like I think I said this to you guys last time I was on when you guys were asking me why Kevin Love was making such an impact. I think in that Knicks series. Yeah. Like he'll create like 4 points a game out of nothing, just out of outlet passes like that just don't belong in the game. He'll just create them and just boop, put them in the game. And he's like, boom, 4 points for Miami that didn't belong to be there in the first place. So that stuff, and like, in a playoff series, that stuff really matters.
All right. A couple more things, man. Sure. NBA finals start. NHL finals start. What is it like that South Florida is the epitome of sports right now? I mean, and here's another thing. It is possible, which I didn't realize this because I thought Boston had already done this, and I was wrong. The NHL finals and the NBA finals This is not new, part of the same metro area, but it could be the first time that a champion from the NBA and the NHL are won by the same metro area. What is it like that the Panthers, and by the way, there's going to be overlap. So we're going to see some Heat players at the Stanley Cup finals, and we're going to see some, Stanley Cup, the Panthers players at the NBA finals.
Yeah. Matthew Tkachuk was at game 6 for Miami, even though he's a Celtics fan because he went to the same college as Jason Tatum, but we're not going to hold that against him. He's a local hero.
Miami Heat gear, I think.
Yeah, I think he was just
Chucky knew the deal. He at least had to rep.
Yeah, look, he could do whatever he wants, man. After that series, he could do whatever he wants. He could cheer for the.
If they win it all, is he go down as
in the NBA
greatest
finals?
Panther of all time, by the way.
Oh man, ooh, I gotta have a think on that. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared to answer that, but
we're gonna have your Lockdown Panthers.
Good. I'm trying to do a crossover with him. I don't know if maybe we'll do it in the middle of the season because I don't think we have time before the series starts. But in the middle of the series, not the season. Excuse me. But to your South Florida sports point, unbelievable what the Florida Panthers have done. And by the way, sustained success. Florida Panthers winning the President's Cup last year, best record in the NHL last year, and then make it. They lose too early in the playoffs last season. The Panthers do, but now they're sustained success last year in the Stanley Cup series this year. The Heat, Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back, now in the NBA Finals. Our Florida Marlins, that's how old I am. Our Miami Marlins, like 500? This is kind of fun, what's going on with the Marlins. The Dolphins are going to have the best offense, or at least the most exciting offense in the NFL this year. Also, and I've been saying this for a long time, I think Miami is quickly becoming the international sports capital of the world. We have all the major sports teams.
Say it one more time, Wes. Say it one more time so the people on the back hear you.
Miami is becoming the international sports capital of the world. We've got F1. We've got the World Cup coming, right? We've got Highlight, if that's your speed. We've got we've got tennis majors. We've got golf majors. We've got people from around the world flocking here in their off seasons to train.
There's rumors that NASCAR is going to try to go to Hard Rock in the next 2 or 3 years.
They should, man. Like that track isn't being used for anything else. So, it's such a great place, I think, to be a sports fan, even though I think South Florida sports fans get a bad rap. And I would tell you, I don't care. We have all of it, man. We have all of it. And we showed up. And you know who's leaving early last night? Celtics fans. You know who's leaving early in the series before that? Knicks fans. You know who's leaving early in the series before that? Milwaukee fans. I don't care if you leave early. You got to beat traffic. Your team's down. That's natural, man. I've left games early. I don't care. It has nothing to do with it. But I do think South Florida sports fans are living in an amazing time where now we are living all this success and experiencing the success, and we're going to pass it down to generations who didn't grow up like our parents didn't really grow up South Florida sports fans because those teams weren't around, right? And so now I think it's going to become generational, and it's just an awesome time. And every once in a while, like you said, Boston has never done it in the same year, but great years in Boston with the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Celtics. Great years in the Bay Area with the San Francisco Giants and the Warriors and the 49ers being successful. You've had years in LA with the Rams and the Lakers. You've had years in Chicago where their teams have been awesome. Like every once in a while, Tampa recently, you've got areas that just are experiencing tremendous amounts of success and sort of all at the same time. And I think Miami is having their moment now.
Well, I love it, and I hope the Miami Dolphins get on board and punch their ticket into this thing because
Mike McDaniel's just been around championship
everywhere.
Yeah,
he loves it. NBA
he's been around success.
NHL.
He's absorbing it through osmosis, man. Like he was right. He would every time at these Heat games, sitting sideline, he would sit right next to the Heat bench, and I think that was on purpose. I think he wanted to watch Eric Spoelstra work and see how it is that he interacts with his players and coaches mid-game and handles things. Yeah. And
I mean, if you're going to learn from somebody, why not Spoelstra, who's been doing it forever, who learned from Pat Riley and was a part of that, look, I mean, Spo, Hall of Fame coach, no doubt about it. And, he's arguably maybe one of the best coaches in the NBA.
He is the best coach in the NBA, and I don't think it's close anymore. What he is doing right now in these playoffs is like 2016 LeBron. Like Spo is
Wow.
he's at his peak. He does not get out coached. He's totally in his bag. He has an answer. Just like in game 7 being like, you know what we're going to do? Haywood Highsmith backup center. And the Celtics were like, what is happening? Like, we did not see this coming. Like game 7 is the time where there's no more adjustments. And Spo's like, I got a few more. I got a few more things in my bag.
If he wins with this team, wins it all, I think it's the most impressive win in the history of the NBA.
There's the closest thing to it is unfortunately the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. But even that team was, they had
Dirk Nowitzki,
bro.
This team's got Jimmy, but like, no, they had Dirk, they had Tyson Chandler. It was it was before the super team era, right? And so it just felt a little bit different. Although, the Heat were the super team, but they were the only one, right? So if you just knocked off the one, but now we're in an NBA full of, big twos and big threes. I think the closest thing would be like in the NFL, like when like Joe Flacco turned into John Elway for a playoff run and won this and led the Ravens to Super Bowl.
11 touchdowns.
Well, Flacco was crazy.
11 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah,
that's
that's the Caleb Martin run right now. Caleb Martin is like on his Joe Flacco vibe right now. It's just like, wait, this guy became Michael Jordan all of a sudden. Like, this is crazy.
And to be fair, nobody in the history of the NFL has had a better playoff run at quarterback than Joe Flacco did that year, which is crazy. Like, name all the quarterbacks that have played in the playoffs. Joe Flacco has the best playoff run ever. Crazy.
Yeah.
Eli Manning might question you a little there, but
Eli had the greatest
touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, come
on.
on.
That's true. That's true. His feats were wild. His stats lines backed it up too, man.
But the point, like, this doesn't happen in the NBA.
No, yeah.
This never happened. The most talented team, one of the most talented teams usually wins. And I don't think that the Heat have any claim to being one of the more talented teams in the NBA. Doesn't mean that they're the best or the worst or whatever.
They have a top 5 player in the NBA in Jimmy Butler, but that's and by the way, he didn't play like that for this season. He played like that in the playoffs.
Right. Correct.
He wasn't playing like that in the regular season.
And so, like, this is the kind of thing that you see in Major League Baseball when you ride a hot pitcher or a couple hot pitchers to a World Series, or the NHL when you have a hot goalie and you like the Panthers to the Stanley Cup. You don't really see this in the NBA, and I think that's what's so incredible about it.
All right, man. What is the next 2 weeks look like for you, Wes?
All right, so I'm currently debating whether or not I'm going to fly to Denver. So we're going to figure that part out on my end. And then, Locked On Heat covering the finals. So excited. And then games 3 and 4 being here in Miami. I'm so amped to just be covering the NBA final. I haven't covered an NBA final since 2019 when it was Warriors Raptors and I was living in the Bay Area. So this is going to be a ton of fun. I'm so excited. We have shows every single day on Locked On Heat, YouTube, podcasts, wherever you get them. I recently started running the website allyoucanheat.com. So we've got written content over there. We're doing an awesome job. And you might see my byline pop up on a few other places over the next couple of weeks too. Working on
question in that Raptors Golden State series that you covered, you were working as a beat reporter for Golden State, right?
That was actually before I got the beat writing job. Before I started working for the newspaper, I was writing for Forbes and also still working with the Locked On Podcast Network. So I was doing more of a national perspective for those 2019.
Okay, so you weren't affiliated with anybody, because I was about to ask you, did you go to Toronto?
No, I have been to Toronto. I did not go to Toronto for those finals.
So the reason I say that is because if you were the home team covering the home team, which would have been the Golden State, and you didn't go, I was going to tell you need to go to Denver to change up that, mojo, change up that hijinks. Okay. You gotta go to Denver. Okay. You got to go cover them in Denver because you didn't do it last time. And Golden State, the team you were covering lost. You're covering the Heat this time. You got to go to Denver. Got to go.
Also love Denver. One of my favorite airport bars in the country is in the Southwest Terminal in the Denver International Airport. So that's always a good excuse to go. And it's the finals, and I got friends in Denver. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm leaning towards it. We're checking out the points situation as we speak.
The points.
Hey, I hope that you and Armando get a Locked On Heat, Locked On Panthers hockey dual podcast going.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're definitely doing it. We just gotta figure out when. Yeah.
Armando's
Channel 10 did something, but you guys gotta do it.
I want you to come on. Can you come on next week here? Again?
Well, yeah, no, because I'll be back from Denver. Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll figure out what day. Yeah.
All right. Let me know what day you can do next week because I want you on during the finals run. Guys, go check him out. Wes, what's your Twitter account?
WC Goldberg, Twitter and Instagram.
Make sure you go follow Wes. Wes, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. We love you, brother.
Good times.
Let's
Thanks for
go
having me.
Heat, baby. Heat culture. I'm
Go
about
Heat, man.
it.
Safe travels.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
fun, man.
Take it easy, man.
What
Travel
is
safe,
up?
Wes.
Love it. That was awesome. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It is Hot Take Tuesday. Well, first of all, good morning, man. What's up, Nando?
How you doing, Mr. Stephen D?
So Nikki just texted me and said that he's still hungover and drunk.
Dude, of
from
course,
yesterday.
man.
I don't know if he's gonna come on or not.
I knew that, bro. My guy, deservedly so, should be celebrating last night, resting up now, recovering. Massive congratulations to the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, we
Mr.
love
Nikki
Nikki
Smokes,
Smoke.
man.
Shout out to you. If he doesn't come on, so be it. But shout out to Nikki.
Rest
Congratulations,
and recover,
man.
boss.
Yeah, man. He's like, dude, I'm dead right now. I can't come on. I was like, all right. If you can later, let me know.
I'd be on an IV bag if I was in his boat.
Bro,
so.
seriously. I mean, he was telling me, we were texting a little bit last night. He's like, dude, it was crazy. Like, just that has to be a surreal moment for him, right? You know, to make the bet with Dave Portnoy and then for him to get the job. Just dope as hell. Love it. Love it. And he was part of the original Hot Take Tuesday crew.
Dude, what a legend, bro.
I know, man. I know, Nando, you're next. That means you're next up.
Legends be.
Everybody gets their start here on Hot Take Tuesday, and then they move on up to the big leagues, man. I ain't mad at you, man. I'm super excited for everything that went down yesterday with Smokes, and I'm excited what he's going to bring to the Barstool Miami community. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So shout out.
He earned it, man. Shit's
He
sick.
did. 100%. And some people are like, oh, he made a bet, he deserved it. No, go look at what Nikki Smokes has been doing for years. That man's been on it. And he got an opportunity to go back and forth over the last year with El Presidente of Barstool Sports, Mr. Dave Portnoy. And so it was bound to happen eventually. And as long as he kept grinding, and he has. And we love Nikki Smokes here. So shout out to Nikki Smokes. You ready for some playoff hockey, man?
Dude,
Are
I'm
you
pumped.
excited for the NHL Finals? Vegas wins last night 6-0 over the Dallas Stars.
Vegas.
And so
The
the
Battle
Vegas,
of Sin Cities,
Vegas
baby.
Golden Knights will face the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Who will be the king of debauchery, baby? And I'm giving it to the South Florida people, baby.
Dude, last night, Miami Heat fans were going nuts in South Florida. And I was like, timeout. We got 2 weeks of Panthers and Heat just going back and forth. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be insane. So
It'll be amazing, Steven.
yeah, I don't know what to say about it other than it's gonna be good times. It's gonna be real good times.
Playoff
What are-
hockey, bro, is unlike anything else in other sports, man. Like, I don't know if I'm able to go. I want to go to a Heat game so bad, but tickets are gonna be so expensive.
Have you
Panthers
started
games
looking
will
at
be
tickets? I
too,
did last night.
but like,
They were
I don't know,
expensive.
man. At least for like, bro, the same price I'm paying for Heat tickets, they're standing room only. Like, I'll pay for Panthers seats and like I'll sit down and in the 300s, not
If you
standing
guys-
room in the 400s.
If you guys want to go to any NBA Finals games or NHL Stanley Cup Final games, go to Less is More events. Shout out to Lime Tickets, less than the competition, allowing you to have more fun. 202-930-3533. Give Kenny and the Lime team a call today, and hopefully he can set you up with some pretty good
I will
seats, man.
be a ring a ding ding. I will definitely be having to check that out, man, because I want to go to one of the games, man, at least for each of the rounds, man. I think it's just like each of the teams. I mean, like, it's just an insane moment. I've been to every single round of the Panthers playoffs run so far. I haven't been able to go to a Heat game, so I really want to be able to go, man.
Man, the Heat, it's gonna be good times. Solo D last night was at a watch party, a pool watch party, just talking mad smack on Instagram the whole night. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in South Florida. Be on the lookout for a couple of watch parties going to be popping up. So if you can't go to the game, but you want to watch with the crew, I know Solo D's in the process of talking to some people about some Miami sports music watch party, so be on the lookout for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Nando, man, what you been up to, man? How's everything going in the world of Nando talk? Right now, it's a little insane, right? You got the OTAs that just kind of finished up for the Dolphins. We're going to get into that in a little bit. The Panthers going to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Heat going to the NBA Finals. You're a soccer fan. Soccer's been going. You've just been. Are you in like heaven, sports heaven right now?
Oh yeah, man. Like usually, like I'm at the point right now where like I love sports in general. Obviously, like soccer, football, everything besides really baseball, I'll follow along to. And I get really excited, but I'll usually have to solely focus on the Dolphins right now because neither the Heat nor the Panthers will be going on that crazy of the run. Definitely not both of them at the same time. So to watch that go down in your own backyard is definitely a thrill, man. Like I'm not the greatest Panthers or Heat fan in the world, but I definitely love my South Florida teams. I'm none of this business of I've got a team from this city, a team from that city. I'm a South Florida guy, and then I've got my teams from Peru. Okay, but from this country, we've got one teams, and that's from this part of town. So to watch the Panthers, to watch the Heat, have those alternating days, for the next 2 weeks, yes, there's that chance that you might lose 2 championships and knock on wood, everything, because that would be terrible. But that's almost what makes it the best. And is that not what makes sports the most fun, Steven? That risk of lose it all or win it all. That highs and lows is what makes sports fun, man. You cannot know what good is if you do not know good times are, or if you do not know what bad times are. And that fate of knowing that, oh my God, I can either be the highest of highs with 2 championships or the lowest of lows with 2 losses. I love that kind of a gamble, man. Like I'm hooked right now. If I'm in sports heaven, you got that Champions League, you got football, OTAs, everything, Steven. My God, it's a glorious time.
Well, I'll tell you from the standpoint of what's going on in South Florida, the Miami Heat, and the run that they're having as the 8th seed, and then also as the last seed in the playoffs, the Panthers, that's what makes it even more impressive from those 2 teams' standpoints, right? Like they had to, struggle to even get into the playoffs and make it there. And so for me, I think that plays a bigger part in everything. But the point I'm trying to get to is last night I'm watching the Celtics game, and it's game 7. It's in Boston. And towards the end of the game, they're showing the defeated faces of the Celtics, which, by the way, I loved, right? No
greater
loss
in sports, bro.
It was great.
Souls of your enemy.
Celtics fans just depressed, but it made me think, like, I get that depression. I'm like, man, I understand that. I understand losing. I don't understand losing at that capacity for the most part, because it's very rare that the teams that I root for get that far and to begin with. So it's always been fun to me, or it's always been interesting to me to see fans just defeated. And so last night it was great because I got to see 2 different extremes. Nikki Smokes, and following him on social media last night, which was so much fun and very, was fun to do. And then I was watching Barstool Sports watch party that they have out of their gambling room on their live stream. And they're all Celtics fans in there for the most part. And they were just depressed. Like they were just super in the bag, in their feelings. They were not feeling it. And I looked at it and I said, man, that's a very interesting thing when you think about it, when it's all said and done, because, it's a lot to feel, especially in a 7-game series where they're going back and forth. And in this series, they went up 3-0, then lost 3 straight. And you're thinking that they're about to do something that had never been done in the history of the NBA before. And it only happened one major time in recent history. And that was, with the Boston Red Sox. And so Boston Red Sox were in the building last night. We were like, oh man, I have to admit, I was nervous last night. I didn't think if we won last night, I thought it was going to be close. We blew them out. It wasn't even a game. And that's what to me was like, man, I'm really excited for the opportunity. And I know people don't have us high on the Denver team playing against the Nuggets with the Joker. I don't know, man. This team just finds a way to win, don't they? And that's the best part about all this is you have Jimmy Butler or Himmy Butler, as he's pronounced nowadays, and Caleb Martin, who's just doing his thing. If Bam can somehow step up and play a huge role again, Bam's going to have a big NBA Finals against the Joker. He's going to have to play lockdown defense, and Kevin Love's going to have to find a way to play some really good defense against the Joker too. If Kevin Love plays 20 plus minutes and doesn't score any points, as long as he's covering the Joker and just playing really good deep, I just need somebody that's going to play really good defense. You go back to that LA series, that was the problem with them. They could not find anybody to cover the Joker. And so I think that's going to be the key thing. If the Joker is shut down in some way, shape, or form, or they can find a way to contain him, the Heat will have a chance. If not, that's why he's won 2 NBA MVPs, because the dude is legit. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens from here with the NBA Finals.
Definitely gonna be interesting, man. Like, if we get in some capacity slow Joker down, Mr. Jokic, I would love that. I would love nothing more to see that. And that's all we can hope for, Steven. I have to hope that Spo can cook something up and figure out the little plan.
PJ Max says, Steven, do you think they'll play Zeller even more? I mean, maybe.
Mr. Year.
Look, I'll say this. I don't think anything's out of the imagination of what Spoelstra will consider doing to win the game. And we talked about it with Wes. He sat Kevin Love after Kevin Love had a really good playoff run for the last 2 games. And he did it because that was what was best for his team. So if he thinks Zeller is going to be better to play against than on Joker, then yeah, maybe he does get, an opportunity. A lot of people go back to the finals where Andre Iguodala won the MVP for the Golden State Warriors. He didn't play a lot that whole playoffs. But when he got into the NBA Finals, they realized his game is best suited to play against that team. And that's why he won an NBA MVP, because they played to his game. So I'll say this. If Miami wins, which I hope that they do, I don't think Jimmy Butler will get MVP. It'll be because somebody else would have had to step up, Cody Martin, the way he did in the Eastern Conference Finals, whatever it is, to do it. So because they can't just do it on Jimmy alone. They have to have somebody else there. You agree?
Dude, I think whether it's Caleb Martin, whether Bam reactivates, whether Jimmy just unleashes and just says, screw my ankle, I can last 4 games. That's fine. I'll destroy my ankle, but we'll win in 4 somehow. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it takes. As long as Spo cooks it up, I'm trusting it, man. I trust in Spo, Mr. Steven. And I know he'll find the right play to make it happen, the right guys to channel it through. And I love that McDaniel was watching Mr. Spo, man.
I know.
Like, you got 2 guys who are not conventional looking coaches at all. 2 guys who have all these doubters in their corners when they first entered. And I love that. Spo and McDaniel, if they were having dinner and you stumbled upon them, you would not think that is a basketball coach and that is a professional football coach. You would just think those are just 2 buddies, 2 dudes. And what's going to happen if Mr. McDaniel can cement himself in that Spo legacy and that mindset of trust Spo, that can just in a couple of years from now say, trust McDaniel. He knows because we've got the street cred, we've got the wins. I love that. But right now, I know the Heat got that, bro. So
Andres, I am not predicting anything in this series because I have absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out. And the same thing for the NHL Finals, right? To Chuck and what's going on with them. And, look, the Panthers are on such a really amazing run.
Season of destiny, baby.
That is right. Like they went out and beat the President's Cup team with Boston. They took care of Toronto. They've just done everything they've needed to do to win. And I think that
there's like a stat with the President's Cup, and I forgot to bring it up with Wes. I guess maybe that's more of like a Locked On Panthers kind of question. But I think it's like 7-0, or like the last 7 teams who have won something with 7, but teams who have won the President's Cup think it's like the last 7 teams who won the President Cup have won the NHL Finals the next year, because the teams who win the President Cup never win the Stanley Cup.
So the last 11 President Cup teams have not won the NBA or not won the NHL Finals.
You know, if you win the President's Cup that year, you probably won't win.
7 the following year, though, that they win it.
Yes,
that's interesting.
It was something that Bruins fans were using to console themselves, and they were like, "Well, the Panthers won't do it, but the Bruins will do it next year because you blah 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 blah." And now, hey, Panthers said we're not bucking the trend.
We're not going to follow them along. We got it.
We got it.
Last night I was, social media on Twitter. The Las Vegas Golden Knights have been to more NHL Stanley Cup finals than 8 teams. They've either tied or played in more than 8 teams in the history of the NFL, including the Chicago Blackhawks. Crazy to me. You could have given me a million guesses. That never would have been one of the teams I thought. They've been to 1 Stanley Cup final, the Chicago Blackhawks. The Vegas Knights, they've been to 2. This is their second. I mean,
they're so young too, man. That must be so cool for them.
I know. And I'll tell you, watching them last time when they played, that's a hockey city right there. A lot of people don't realize it, but Vegas definitely is. So the atmosphere in Sunrise and the atmosphere in Vegas over the next 2 weeks are going to be must-watch TV. I mean, seriously, it will be. Are you planning on going to a Stanley Cup game?
I think so, man. I think so, because in my bones, I feel like I will see more. And I've seen like Heat playoff runs before. Like I've seen the NBA Finals. Like I've got that experience, and like with Spo's at the helm, I know I can see that in the future again. Like I don't have any doubts in my mind that the Heat will be playing on the stage for years to come. The Panthers, maybe I don't know enough hockey. I don't know if the Panthers, I know we haven't done this since 96, but I don't know if the Panthers will be able to sustain this. I don't know how the league works when it comes to continuity and parity. I know that the Lightning won 2 years in a row. It's like they were on the 3-peat run. Like, I don't know if the Panthers can have that juice. I'd love them to, but I've gone to every single round of the Stanley Cup so far, man, and I need to go to Stanley Cup Finals. Like, I need to, Steven. Like, it would just be a little cherry on top.
Yeah, man. Absolutely insane, man. Andrevius says the Nuggets are the better team, but the Celtics were way more talented than us. We'll wait to see what happens. I'm not betting against this Heat team. We've beaten 3 teams that were way more talented than us. I agree.
I love that the line is stacked against us, man. Like, I think that if there was a little bit more even, maybe the Heat go like, look, we finally got to respect. Like, all right, let's just go win, yada, yada. That's whatever it is, even if it's 1% of an edge you lose, I hate that. If anything, even if it's 1% more of an edge we've gained, seeing that we're this like that. Oh, the Nuggets are heavy favorites. We're gonna see some ridiculous ESPN stat line again saying we have like an 8% chance to win or something. Oh, it's gonna be all the fuel we need, baby. Let's go, Steven.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Nando Talk, myself, Stephen D. It is Hot Take Tuesday. Donate to the channel, help the channel grow. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Look, man, a lot of stuff to get into. Want to remind y'all, tomorrow I'm going to have Bryant McKinney on, former Miami Dolphins offensive lineman. He's going to be hanging out with me for about 30 minutes tomorrow. We're going to be talking 15 to 30 minutes. We're going to be talking, Miami Dolphins moves and what's going on with them. Thursday, I'm going to have from Locked On Panthers Hockey, Armando on with me, which I'm super excited about. We're going to dive in a deep dive into the Stanley Cup Finals along with my man Cameron 954. And we're hoping, this is not set in stone yet, but I don't mind talking about it. We're hoping to have Ryan Ripken on, Cal Ripken's son, who played in the majors, who I know very well up here in this area. And he's got a couple of new podcasts up, and we're going to talk some Major League Baseball on Thursday with Ryan Ripken, hopefully. So, and if it doesn't happen this week, it'll definitely happen the following week. So be on the lookout for that. So that'll be a lot of fun too. And I got some other things in the works. So I'm out here grinding, working hard. Even on the 10 days I took off, man, I I was putting in that work. So I'm glad y'all are here with me today, and I missed y'all, and it was super fun to have 10 days kind of to myself, and just I was working, man, though, even though those 10 days, because I want to see this channel grow, and I want to see the brand grow, and I want you guys to get the best product each and every morning right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Real quick, Memorial Day weekend, a lot of fun. Got to hang out with the fam, got to eat a lot of good food, had barbecue ribs, man, I ate real good this weekend, man. Let me tell you, it is one of my favorite holidays. As a big man, one of my favorite holidays, because you always eat good on Memorial Day weekend. The pool opened up at my apartment complex. It was freezing because it's not quite too warm here yet. See, you have pools open year round. We only have it for like a 3.5 month span up here in the Maryland area, Nando. It was kind of funny that Wes talks about it, because I'm like, man, if I lived in a pool area all year round, I would always be in the pool. I only get 3.5 months to have it here. I hate it. But I know. Thank you. Just rub it in, why don't you? And did that. Watched some NASCAR this weekend. A lot of it got rained out in Charlotte. So yesterday they had 2 races, the Xfinity race and the Coca-Cola 600 for the Cup. My boy Bubba got 4th. 4 weeks in a row he's finished in the top 5, including the All-Star race. But 4 weeks in a row he's finished in the top 5. He's on a run right now, and I think he's about to do it. They're about to go to the West Coast and do 2 road courses over in Sonoma and I forget the other place. So next 2 weeks will be very interesting. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun hanging out and just chilling with the family, watching NASCAR, watching hockey, watching basketball all weekend, and just being with the fam. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. What did you do this weekend? I'll ask that before we get into everything else.
Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Like, I think the most interesting hideout I had was yesterday. I watched like the National Lacrosse Championship game. It was pretty cool. Notre Dame versus Duke. Notre Dame was winning 6-1, then Duke came back 6-5, and then it became neck and neck, and then Notre Dame ended up pulling away 13-9. Their first championship in program history. It was pretty cool. That's what I do every year for Memorial Day. It's the Lacrosse National Championship Day. It's one of the only times where lacrosse is like actually on ESPN is this Memorial Day weekend. So it was a fun time. Besides that, Steven didn't do too much, just work, school, the usual. I had Peruvian food. Didn't have some crazy barbecue,
Hey, the Panthers historian on Twitter, just a fun Twitter person I follow, has for the first time since 1998, the Florida Panthers and the Miami Heat share a home arena together, and it's the TD Boston Garden. You can't see this. I wish you could, but it's like the Wikipedia from them. And it says Boston Bruins, Boston Celtics, Boston Blazers, Florida Panthers 2023, Miami Heat 2023. They're out here owning Boston's TD Arena. I love it, man. I love when people do stuff. Like
screw the Garden, man. Glad we don't have to go back to that crap hole ever again.
You ever seen a game there?
No.
Yeah, I saw a game there. I saw a game there several years ago when the big 3 were there. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. I saw them in a first-round matchup against the Atlanta Hawks.
What the hell, Steven? You said the big 3. I thought you were talking about
the big 3 there. I said the big 3 there.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like the Heat, big 3 there.
No, but I tell you what, I wore my Miami Heat LeBron jersey to that game, and I was getting booed every which way to Sunday. And I was sitting in a suite, like a little party suite, and I was the only Heat. I was like wearing my LeBron stuff all in that. Like they're not even close to playing each other yet. It was definitely in there talking about, let's go, LeBron. All up in the arena. So yeah, it don't matter where I go. I'm definitely Teapot 954 says it should now be called the JB Garden. I'm not mad at it. All right, Miami sports music. Let's kind of get into some Dolphins talk, which is why a lot of people are here. Some news that happened over the weekend. That I think is a very interesting thing, and I want to get your take on it, Nando, just from a standpoint of was somebody I hope the Dolphins were going to go after and retain, and it didn't happen. But Brandon Shell, signing a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. Give me your thoughts on Brandon Shell resign or going to the Buffalo Bills and not resigning with the Dolphins.
Get shell shocked. It doesn't really matter to me. Best of luck to you, Mr. Brandon Shell, in your future career, future endeavors as a person, as a Buffalo Bill. I hope you have 200 million holding penalties whenever you're called into action, but go get your money, my friend.
Do you think it was a money thing? Because it sounds like I have to be honest with you.
Might be money, might be like planned, bro. We might have just been like, yo, we're not going to use you, man. We're going to try to use Austin Jackson, Lee Meikenberg anymore. You got used because there were injuries, and we're not going to plan on injuries. So they don't got you in mind, boss. Drafted Ryan Hayes. Like, we've got our tackle depth.
Brandon Shell started, how many games did he start last year for us? 11, I think, in total.
But that's not on the game
decent when he was in. Like, he didn't play horrible. He would have a great depth piece. So look, June 1st is a couple days away, and we know that that's going to play a big part in what the Dolphins are going to do moving forward, right? So the Dolphins are going to have some cap money free up, and we should have some salary cap space here, and it'll be interesting. I think we're at 90 people right now. So we might have to release a couple of people if I'm correct, but nonetheless, there's going to be opportunities to sign some veteran free agents in the second wave of free agency post June 1st. What do you expect the Dolphins to do anything post June 1st as far as signing any player at all? Maybe even including Dalvin Cook.
And he gets cut and we have the money. He's a Miami Dolphin. You know what I'm saying? And all signs point to the Vikings have not really made any grounds on keeping him. Like, they have not made any traction on keeping him. Like, they even drafted a running back. His name is escaping me right now. But besides Alexander Madison, they drafted a running back in like the 4th or 3rd round. So they're planning for life after Dalvin. I'd love to see him here. I do think the Dolphins are going to make a move. I'm not too sure where. But if we have some free money, we're going to be scouring the waivers. We're going to be looking at the lines. We're going to be looking at who gets cut, seeing which free agents can be added to this team, be those final little puzzle pieces, and just complete the big picture, man. Like, that's what I want. I want the Dolphins to spend that last bit of money correctly, wisely. I'm not too sure where, but if the right name hits the market, we need to be the first on the board. Like, I don't want to see like a good name hit the market, us have money, and just be like, eh. And the other one I can think off the top of my head is Dalvin right now.
Dalvin is the name that I want the Dolphins to.
If an offensive lineman hits the board and we're just like, I don't even want to try it, whatever. It's like, yo, what's up, man? Throw a dartboard.
You gotta remember, DJ Fluker still out there. Cam Fleming, if I'm correct, he's still a free agent. I could be wrong with that. Let me see. I think Cam Fleming is still there. But there's definitely going to be money available. Cam Fleming. No, did he stay with them? I think he might have stayed with them. I'm not sure. But we know that at the end of the day they re-signed him to a 1-year deal 1 week ago, Cam Fleming. So Cam Fleming's gone. So there we go. So I mean, look, I'd love to see DJ Fluker and Dalvin Cook. If the Dolphins got those two guys, I think it's a successful offseason all in all. Do you like the Isaiah Wynn signing?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, man. It's the versatility to being added to the line. Like, it's some nice.
He hasn't had a good year the last couple of years, though. He's had a couple down years. He was also playing a position that he wasn't comfortable in playing with, right? And right tackle last year.
Yeah, I know he graded well at first, then he slid off a bit when he had the position switches around. So with Isaiah Wynn, man, I just need him to get back to what he's comfortable doing, get back to the norm. And at the end of the day, it's more of competition. He might not even start. He might start. And that's the best part about competition. If he starts, we know he's the best guy for the job, quote unquote. If he doesn't start, we know we could use him as depth. So it's not like it's the greatest swing. So I'm not too scared if it misses, is what I'm saying.
It'll be definitely interesting to see what happens here. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Okay, it's clearly you are either lying or ill-informed. It was reported that Cook can be taking a pay cut to stay. Look, I've heard that too, but I haven't heard that from anybody reputable per se. I heard that was a rumor. Like I saw that through the Minnesota Vikings fans on Twitter, not through beat reporters or anybody like that.
Yeah, like if you Google Dalvin Cook, the first thing that pops up one day ago is like it says, boom, might take a pay cut. Then Bills might sign Dalvin Cook. Dolphins might sign Dalvin Cook. Why Dalvin might stay with the Vikings? Can Dalvin Cook still be traded? Like it's nobody knows, bro. These are all one day ago too. So it's like,
I mean, we're gonna
I'd have
find
to,
out
like,
at the end of this week. I mean, it's clearly plausible that the end of this week, Dalvin Cook could be a Miami Dolphin.
like if I'm the Vikings and I'm trying to trade him, I'm not, or I'm looking at cutting him. I might be like, hey, actually, we might be re-signing him. If you want to send a 6th or 7th rounder for him, feel free to do so. If not, whatever, smoke screens. I don't know what to trust. I don't know what to look into. I haven't followed Dalvin's situation as closely as I should because of the Panthers and the Heat, but it's definitely something to look into, man. I'd be fine with it. If he does stay in Minnesota, though, oh well. Like, it's not the end of the world. I'm fine with A-Chain, Mostert, Wilson. It's a dynamic running back room, if not the most exciting. It is speedy, shifty, fast guys there that I do like. So
I'm just telling you what I heard. If it was reported by a beat reporter, look, fine. You know, I'll give it a little bit of credence, but I mean, it's not like our beat reporters have never said anything that hasn't come to fruition either, right? So I'll say this. I think that we've seen what happened. The Minnesota Vikings took Dalvin Cook off of all marketing material. They took him off the social media. They took him off the website as far as marketing material was concerned. Things they sent out to the season ticket holders didn't have anything with Dalvin Cook in it. All those are facts. So I say that it's more likely that Dalvin Cook is not a Minnesota Viking next year rather than a rumor which can or cannot be substantiated through a, beat reporter, whoever. Matthew Loves the Fin says offensive lineman Dalton Risner is still available. Yep. I mean, that's true too. I would love to see Risner. If Risner, Fluker, and Cook were to get signed, tell me that wouldn't be a great way to cap off the offseason this year, Nando. I mean, I would be all about it. I would love to see every bit of that.
Sorry, I was reading the Dalvin Cook thing. The exact quote is the possibility exists that Dalvin will rework his deal, take some sort of cut, realize that there isn't really another opportunity out there. Like, who really needs a running back? It goes, yeah. Like, that's the quote. Like, basically saying, like, nobody really needs Dalvin Cook. So he might realize the best thing to do is stay and take a pay cut and stay with the Vikings. That just sounds like a hopeful thing. Like, I could say that about any player, and I have, because I'm King Hope, King Optimism, King Tinfoil Hat. Like, I've definitely sat up here and said, we
are your local hopium dealers, Nando.
I mean, I definitely hope that, a premier left tackle is going to get cut and he's going to realize that Miami Dolphins have a nice job and a nice spot to fit. He's going to want to split over to right tackle and sign with the Dolphins. I'm definitely going to hope that, it's not like he spoke to someone in the know. There's definitely a possibility exists. A possibility exists for everything, Steven. So it might be a credible source. Might not be, bro. Who knows, bro?
It'll be interesting nonetheless. All right, man. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. I haven't talked to y'all in about 10 days. I'm not doing a full panel, but I'm going to open up the line for y'all to get on, talk about whatever you want to talk about, say hello to me, talk trash to me about my boy LeBron getting swept, whatever it is.
Clown, Mr. Steven.
Yes. Whatever it is. I'm dropping the links for y'all to get on and hang out here with us. In the meantime and in between time, you like that, right? I got bars. And I ain't talking about Milky Ways. I'm trying to pull this thing back up. My internet was acting real funky today, man.
Oh, a legend. Hey,
real quick, before anybody else comes on, my guy,
King of Beantown,
former co-host of Hot Take Tuesday, the man with his own brand, and now part of the Barstool Sports family. Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki, mother loving Smokes.
You got like toothpaste back here? I don't think I have toothpaste myself.
King of Beantown, no worries. Take all the time you need.
I just got hired by Barstool Sports last night.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah.
That's doing what?
He's in the hotel talking.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hey, as a free advocate for most of my life, that's awesome.
Yeah, I had a bet with Dave Portnoy that if the Heat won Game 7, he'd hire me and give me $100,000. But if they lost, I had to get a tattoo of like a Celtics clover.
You're kidding me.
Swear to God.
All right. At the least, let me go see that.
All right, thanks, man. What's good, boys?
Nicky, what's up, my guy?
No, that was pretty
funny,
hardcore, man.
What an introduction. I'm over here just trying to get some fucking toothpaste to brush my teeth.
That was the most hardcore toothpaste flex of all
Are you in the
time.
hotel right now, bro?
I think it's 4:35 or 4:45. Last name Longley. Hold on, this is important. I gotta make sure I can brush my teeth.
This is actually the greatest thing ever.
I'm not mad at you, bro.
It is 4:35.
Yeah, like a long way.
Yeah, that's my
Tell
brother.
him you
yeah.
got it. Tell him put it
All
on
right,
Dave
thank you,
Portnoy's
I
tab.
appreciate it.
Of course.
That was some King of Beantown moves.
I mean, our flight's at I think 3 or 4. What is it? 11.
Okay,
We'll be out in like the next hour.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, I'm kind of a big deal. I need a late checkout. Okay, so just make sure you handle that for me. Put it on Dave Portnoy's tab.
I mean, dude, like
That's off. That was
they're checking in my room at like 8 a.m. I'm like, dude, it's 8 a.m. Like, I'm not leaving this hotel yet.
Do you know who I am? I'm the King of Beantown. I'm the man who just came into the garden and took your souls, baby.
Well,
Dude,
all
what
right,
is
so,
that?
all right, before we get into everything, let's just talk about
Congratulations,
last
man.
night. What was the app like? Were you the only Heat fan there? Because
Yeah, I was the
every
only
picture
one.
saw-
I didn't see one other Heat fan there.
I mean,
Until
I
after
wanted to
the game,
believe
then
every
I
time
guess, like,
Duncan was raising his hands, he was talking to you, Nikki. He was like, "Come on, Smokes, I need to hear you."
oh yeah, and you were getting it outside the arena too.
Bro, that was so iconic. I think that was my favorite part of the whole thing. But like, I really live for that type of shit. Like, I really do. Like, nothing fires me up more than just being in enemy territory and everyone's just looking at you like what the fuck are you doing here? And then when I just go in there and just take their soul, like, there's no better feeling.
Dude,
You're a paratrooper, baby. You like going behind enemy lines, going into the deep in the thick of it, and
I live
just
for it.
getting the dirty work done, bro. That's some paratrooper vibes right there, Mister. Oof.
So Smokes,
Wow.
let me ask
Yeah.
you, bro. Last night, were you even a little bit like you were nervous? Don't lie to me. You were nervous last night.
I mean, dude, like, they were up 20 the whole game, and like, I was still nauseous the entire time. And like the fourth quarter came, and like we're still up 20, and like I'm sitting there like crying. Like, it was like the craziest thing ever. How do I get out of here? Oh, right through the door.
He's lost it. He's lost in the hotel. What hotel are you staying at in Boston, by the way?
I think it's like Fairmont. Oh, some nice ass fucking hotel,
King of Beantown, baby.
dude. But like,
Oh my god. So by the way, you're wearing all your Miami Heat gear flying up there, right? So you're walking through the airport.
I mean,
You're walking
it
through the
was a
city.
business trip, bro. I brought clothes for the game, and I brought clothes for the flight home.
It's a business trip. I love it.
Dude, we're up 20 in the fourth quarter, and like every time like the Heat score, I'm just choking up crying because like I just didn't believe it was real. Like, there's like 3 minutes left. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. We're up 20, and I felt like it was a 1-point game.
So, for those of you who don't know, about a year and a half ago, Smokes had a viral video leaving the game in Miami, and Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, Stool Presidente, tweets back talking about this guy. How could this guy do that? But y'all ended up developing some sort of a relationship. I wouldn't say quite friendship right away, but you guys had a back and forth, and you guys ended up starting this communication between the two of you. How was that, man?
Shit, bro. I can't even describe it. You know, like I started making videos when I'm 18 years old, like in my room, speaking 100,000 words per minute, like with the intention of him hitting me up for a job offer. And 5 years later, like just to have him in my DMs and like he's chirping me and I'm chirping him and ending up with like a job opportunity is just it's unprecedented, bro. Like I'm so blessed and thankful. I can't even describe it.
Well, I mean,
Dude,
look, man,
much deserved,
you and I have been friends for a couple of years now, and I've been telling you for a couple of years, I'm like, you got something, man. And I've been telling you since the moment I met you. I was like, look, Nikki, man, you got something here, and Dave knew what you had, and that's why he made the bet, because he knew ultimately it was a win-win situation for him.
Greatest win-win, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was gonna give me the job regardless. I don't know though, but
Bro, that was the greatest hedge
good thing
ever.
that he won
Because you won, cuz.
I didn't even have to worry about it.
That was the greatest hedge for him of
So
all time, man. It was get Celtics or get Smokes, man.
So
He
by the
was
way,
like, I'm down for it.
how did the bet come about? The bet of you and the job and the tattoo. Did he reach out and say it, or how did that happen?
Yeah, he I'm trying to find a bagel place around here. Where do I gotta go for a big egg and cheese?
You gotta go to New York, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, shout out Derek White though. Like, if he doesn't hit that shot, like this probably doesn't go down. But he hits that shot, Game 6, like Celtics steal one in Miami, and he DM'd me the next morning because I mean we were going back and forth on Twitter, and then he DM'd me. He's like, "Do you want to bet Game 7?" And I said, "Absolutely, I want to bet Game 7." And then he goes, "I know what I could do for you, but what could you possibly do for me?" And I was like, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, fuck, dude, like, I don't know, like, what the hell can I offer Dave Portnoy? Like, you're worth $500 million.
What can you offer the man that has
And
everything
Barstool
already?
loves tattoo bets, bro. That was your play, Nicky. You played that master class, bro. Like a tattoo bet is what it'll get Big Cat going, it'll get PFT going, it'll get Portnoy going. Like that was master class, bro. Like that'll get anybody going, no matter how much money you
So
want. The idea of a tattoo bet, like that's
you?
What happened?
Who came up with the 4-leaf clover idea?
I think I came up with it.
That's what's up.
Where would you have gotten it, realistically?
On my ass.
There we fucking go. Pucker up, Portnoy.
What do you guys sell here? What is that?
I love how you just walked. I don't know what you sell here, but what do you sell here? Do you sell food?
Sounds great.
You put it in a corn husk, you put different fillings.
That sounds amazing.
And then you cook them by
Any sort of food right now sounds absolutely amazing after drinking for the last 24 hours.
Inside, you throw away the corn husk. You just wrap them and
Okay.
cook them. And
Um,
you also have hibiscus water.
I love how she's like explaining exactly.
All right,
what
so let me
we're
do.
doing.
I guess I'll do pork. Oh yeah,
You want green pork?
whichever one tastes best.
Or mole pork, or one of each.
Honestly, just give me one, and whichever one you think tastes better is the one I want.
One green pork.
And then that's it.
That's it. That's
And water.
All right.
And water.
Do you have water back here? Or no?
hibiscus.
What is that? That's all right. I'll go get a coffee.
It's a concentrated
Looks.
from a flour.
This is great.
For your kidneys, and it's not too much sugar, so it removes the thirst.
It's all right. I'm good on that. I'll just do the pork thing.
Okay.
So have you talked?
Right here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you talked to Portnoy post last night?
Thank you.
Yeah. He reached out to me this morning. He was like, "Congratulations on the bet." Yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll eat it over there. Thank you, bro. Yeah. So I don't eat that part. I just eat the inside.
I love how he's like, Steven,
recovery mode,
I'm just
bro.
here answering questions about my breakfast this morning.
Thank you. My
right.
bad. So, yeah, Portnoy DM'd me this morning. He's like, "Congrats on the bet," and then asked if I wanted to relocate or stay in South Florida. So I told him I kind of want to do both. Like, I want to relocate, but like obviously come home for the Dolphin games and like big Heat games and shit like that.
And what did he say?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going back and forth. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to
Tell
go to
him
Chicago
to
or New York.
tell him to start a Barstool Miami and be the flagship of that shit, man.
I just need to see you in the gambling cave with Frank the
It's all
Tank,
good.
man.
I'm not gonna lie. So I was watching
Perfect.
I was watching the gambling cave last night on Barstool. They looked depressed in there when the Celtics were losing, bro. They looked so sad in the gambling cave last night on Barstool.
On the live stream, I think it would be just so funny to see.
I can't wait for you to be in there with all
chirping
those fans, all those Boston fans in there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
legendary. And Frank the Tank, has Frank the Tank reached out to you?
Yeah, they've all hit me up, bro. It's honestly kind of surreal.
Big Cat?
Doesn't feel real, to be honest with you.
Hey, man, you know,
Like people that are like following me and hitting me in the DMs the last. I can't even like check my DMs. Like it's just like flooded.
I'm sure it's flooded, bro. I'm sure it is, man. Well, look, man, I'm gonna. Hey, by the way, what do you think the Heat are gonna do against the Nuggets?
Well, I mean, what they just did for me last night, I could never say a negative word about the Miami Heat. So I'm just gonna say they're gonna win in 7.
Let's go.
Heat in 7, baby.
Love it, man. So you're on a flight back to South Florida here, right?
Yeah, I leave in like 2 hours.
Now, you had a job. Did you put in your 2 weeks notice to them?
I don't have to put a 2 weeks notice in. I work 1099.
And you just told them, hey, guys,
bye.
Dude,
hair grease.
I work for my brother, and I went to the game with him. So, like, he couldn't be happier for me.
Oh, man, I'm so
that's
excited
awesome
for you. How'd you get tickets last night, by the way?
I emptied out my pocketbook.
I saw that you said something about a Boston fan shelling out a certain amount of money and his wife was mad at him.
Oh,
what
my
was
God,
that about?
dude. Shout out my boy Rhino. His name's Rhino.
Cuz.
Dude, we're sitting at the bar with this guy. Coolest dude ever. He's like, y'all going to the game? I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, take my seat then. Like, I'm going to watch it here, but y'all can sit down. I was like, bro, thank you. Long story short, he's there with his wife. He's like, yeah, man, I was trying to get tickets to the game, but, you know, my girl, she don't want me to spend all that money, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, yeah, you damn right. Like, we should go out to dinner tonight or whatever. Like, they really thought they were going to watch the game at the bar. And then, like, his wife went to the bathroom or some shit. He goes, yo, how much you get your tickets for? I was like, I don't know. I think I paid, like, $1,400 a seat. He's like, all right, I'm going to see if I can beat that. Pulls out his phone, bought 2 tickets, row 4 for $3,000.
Oh,
Bro, his wife comes back and she's so shook. Got bad influences on him, blah, 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 blah. And I was just fucking crying, bro.
So you got a Celtics fan.
sorry, Mrs. Rhino.
Dish out $3,000 to watch his team lose game 7.
Yeah, I feel bad.
You got that man divorced. You don't even know it yet. Or broken up. She gonna leave him because of that.
He was honestly the boy, though. Like, we met up at halftime. Like, shout out Rhino, for real. He's the homie.
Shout out Rhino.
I love it.
I need a coffee so bad.
Well, look, man, I don't want you. Thank you for coming on and taking time to come on this morning. No, real talk. I love you, man. I've been supporting you for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can. I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you for having me on, bro. I'm gonna go to Starbucks and get a coffee real quick.
You go to Starbucks and get a coffee, and we'll see you.
You go to Starbucks in Boston, bro.
Barstool
You gotta go to Dunkin'.
Boy, Nikki Smokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Right,
Gotta go to Dunkin' in Boston.
Love it.
Easy,
Love
man.
it.
Congrats.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. That's so cool. Love that guy. Yeah, he was dead earlier. He was supposed to come on first, and that didn't happen. He was knocked out. He's like, bro, I'm dying.
Bro, you can't go to Starbucks in Boston. You gotta hit Dunkin' Donuts, bro.
Gotta hit Dunkin' Donuts. Gotta hit Dunkin'. All right. man, I don't know what to say about that other than that was dope. And
Legend, bro.
yeah, man. For those of you who don't know, that Nando, CB83, myself, Batman, obviously Nikki Smokes, anybody who's ever been affiliated with Miami sports music in some way, shape, or form, present and past, they grind, man. It's tough. And I appreciate the time that Nicky did with us on Tuesdays to start out. I mean, for a good year, right? He was part of Hot Take Tuesday for a good year, Nando. And now he's playing at Barstool.
Bro, he killed it on the Smoke Show too, bro. His YouTube popped off. If then you guys check that out, that was sick this past season. Watching that blow up.
Him and Bobby.
Bobby and Jay, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really good, and the grind is real, and so that's kind of what it's all about, is to kind of get an opportunity to eventually showcase your talents with unlimited resources, quote unquote, behind you. And so now that he's there at Barstool, I think that's it. I think now he has unlimited resources, to be able to promote and do things that he wants to do. He's always wanted to do. And he might only have a 1-year deal right now, but man, I fully expect that man to be at Barstool for a very long time.
For sure, bro. That's the Barstool way, bro. Like they like their year-to-year contracts. It's a way for Portner to keep his guys hungry, leverage them to really want to keep pushing to work better every single year, because there's an opportunity of either more money or maybe losing your job or less money. But Smoke's a grinder, bro. He works hard, and it's a way for him to keep parlaying himself into a bigger and bigger paycheck, honestly. And he's gonna take the most advantage of that. That's sick, honestly.
I know. It's great. And man, Finn's in the house says the grind pays off. It does, man. And it is a grind. It's a day in, day out thing. And sometimes it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And sometimes you just need that break. And you never know where it's going to come from, but you just got to keep doing what you're doing. And I'll tell you right now, Nicky just didn't get a break. Nicky's been grinding for this for years. And so I'm really excited for him. And his first appearance as a Barstool employee was right here on our show. How awesome is that, Nando? I mean, I love it, man. First time as a Barstool employee on Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. I'm about it. Nando, you're next. You don't even know it, but you're next. CB83 says, really excited for Smokes and his opportunity. Always stayed down and reps his teams. Never Wolfpack. Go get it, homie.
Never Wolf.
Love it. All right, let me drop the link for y'all to come on again. I know I had some of y'all in the chat for a little while. Get on for a little bit, hang out with us. We'll be on for about another 30 minutes, and then we're going to hop off. So if you want to come on, say hello. I haven't seen y'all in about a week and a half. Remember, tomorrow, Bryant McKinney will be on for the beginning of the show, and then we'll have Wiling Out Wednesday for the end. And that'll be good. And then Thursday, I'm hoping to have Ryan Ripken on. I'm texting him now, actually, as well as Locked On Panthers Hockey Armando on. So we got a lot of cool stuff. All right, first person we got on this morning, my man Todd. Good morning, Todd. How are you?
Hey, man, what's going on? Worried about you, Steven. I was like, I had to shoot you a text and never got you're like a brother, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry I didn't. There was a few people I wasn't able to respond to for no other reason than I was just taking it one day at a time and just, trying to be
well, you always got your family here, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. But sometimes you just need to recharge. And
yeah,
that's what
I agree. I agree.
Hit the reset button, and I'm ready to go now. I'm back.
What a hell of a way to come back, though. You get to come back to the Panthers and the Heat in the finals.
I know. It's dope.
Amazing.
I'm all about it, man.
And they've taken that same trip. Both of them knocked off the #1 team. In their sport that the season. Then they both went to the next round. Then they both knocked off the #2 team, and now they're both going against the #1 team in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, if they win, they deserved it. It wasn't that they got lucky; they had to fight to get everything that they needed. And so that's a big deal to be able to do that and to get that far with everything. My hope is, at the end of the day that, they're going to win, but it's going to be a tough series for both of them, right? The Panthers are going to have to play Vegas, who are a tough team, and obviously Denver with, a two-time NBA MVP. It's going to be.
I just hope Bob is Bob. What we've seen in this playoffs.
Bob. Hey, he's been amazing. He's been amazing this postseason, and we definitely need him to keep it up for at least another 4 more games.
It was brought to my attention on another show that this Heat team is not bought. This Heat team has been made by the coaching staff and developed. Compared to all the other teams in the NBA are buying these superstars, this team was developed.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it was Spoelstra, right? Spoelstra and Pat Riley have a big part in that, and they would not be here today if it wasn't for those two guys. And that's the best part of all.
You see, Riley was up to his old tricks.
Yes.
Before the game, he bought the tickets to Denver already.
Well, so he already had. So to be fair, all right, we played a lot into that as Miami fans. But he could have easily changed. It was a chartered plane, and the course could have been very well redirected. But yes, the fact that he was like, we're going there with the mindset that this is a business trip, and our next part of the business is
people who don't know about the Heat's first championship. He brought one suit. He didn't bring a whole suitcase. He brought one suit up to Dallas, saying we're going to win it and come back home. We're not staying any longer, and that's what happened.
Yeah, man, it's definitely there. I agree with that. All right, hey Todd, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning. I love you, brother. I miss you.
Had to, man.
Out. Sorry, I didn't reach back out.
All good.
But
just know we're all here if you need us for anything.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks, Todd.
Take care.
All right, next up we got Matthew. Good morning, Matthew. What's up, man? How are you this morning?
Hey, what's up, Steven?
How are you, man?
Congratulations to Nick, because I've seen him on your show, and he's a very talented guy. Great analysis, man.
Nikki Smokes, man, doing big things over here, taking over the world at Barstool Sports. Hashtag Barstool Miami, make it a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna. I used to do Dolphins videos. I'm gonna start back up in August when the season starts.
Hey man,
man, do it.
I tell people, and Nando will tell you, I'll be the first one to be like, yeah, man, I support everybody who wants to do content. Just grind, just go out there and put stuff together. I think the two things I would tell people that are interested in doing any sort of content is consistency and evolution. It's not consistency and quality. Quality comes over time, but consistency and evolution, and evolution is getting better and sharpening and honing your skills so that eventually you have a product that, can be, marketed and bought and sold and all that stuff. And so, is Miami Sports Music Podcast Network what I want it to be? No, but it's a hell of a lot further than where it was day one, 3 years ago. So, we've been doing this over 3 years now here at the podcast network. And, we've had a lot of amazing people walk through these doors, quote unquote. And Nikki Smokes was just one of them. And so I know that part of what I like to do is I like to see talent for what it is. And I knew that Nikki always had the talent. Same way I know Nando has the talent. Same way I know CB83 has the talent. Those guys are currently, Nando and CB are currently part of the home team here at Miami Sports Music. And, those guys, they got it. And people that have been in here in the past, Batman, Dolph Freaky, Angel Ortiz, man, like the Hellfins, by the way, Hellfins and Hellfins as well, like all those guys and people and lady have the talent and have what it takes to be successful in doing whatever it is they want to do. So I like to say that I'm about people, and if you're a good person, things will come your way. But I'm telling you right now, Nikki Smokes deserves everything that's coming his way here in the future. So shout out to Nikki.
Yeah,
Smokes.
1000% does, man.
Yeah, I don't have a camera yet, like to film videos. I'll have my phone, but that's what I'm gonna have to do with.
You got to make an investment in yourself. Sometimes it's just spending the money on a camera or a new computer or whatever it is. Because
Matt, do you have a Mac?
A Mac? No, I don't. I have
no,
a regular laptop though.
Oh, I think because I know that like the Mac with that's what I use. I use my phone camera for most of the time. I just do like there's like a continuity pairing. I'm sure there's a way to be able to use your phone camera and connect it to StreamYard as your webcam. You know, StreamYard is what most of us use. It's like a basic streaming platform for the podcast, but you could use your phone for sure, or like basic webcams aren't that much. I think. Basic Logitech should you started off, man. You should be good, bro.
All right, Matthew, man. I appreciate you coming on this morning, brother. Be good. All right. I don't know what happened there, but he's gone. He gone. Chef Shu, it's 3-year anniversary. That happened 2 weeks ago. 3-year anniversary, not 2. We've been doing this for 3 years, Nando.
That's awesome, bro. Congratulations, Mr. Steven.
You are you tired?
No, I was about to say I'm gonna have to hop off though, Mr. Steven.
You're gonna have to pop off. You gotta get out of here. All right, man. I'm gonna finish up the show. Give me your final thoughts of the day, Nando.
Final thoughts, mainly pumped right now for South Florida sports. The action, the scene down here, it's heating up. It's getting a lot better, and the Heat win, the Panthers win. Hopefully, if both of them win, it's going to instill even more unfounded confidence in me that the Dolphins are going to follow suit, that we're going to be just another South Florida team that's going to be hoisting the trophy this season. And I'm pumped for that reality, man. I'm pumped for the future of South Florida sports. I'm pumped for the Dolphins. And, of course, pumped for congratulations to Mr. Nikki Smokes as well. Thank you for having me on, Steven. And it's always a pleasure talking Dolphins, talking South Florida sports here on Clock Blockers, man. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you want to check me out at Nando Talk, we're at 88 subscribers away from 1,000, so that'd be awesome, bro. We're at 912 right now. So
88 subscribers away from 1,000, man. Keep going, man. Do your thing.
Thank you, Mr. Steven.
All right, man. Love you, brother. Be good.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm going to bring on, we're going to keep it going for a little bit longer. Let me bring on the next guest, Robert. Good morning, Robert. What's going on, man? How are you?
Not much, man. How you doing today?
I am back, man. I'm excited to be back. I missed you guys. And yeah, man, we're doing big things over here.
Where'd you disappear to?
I just took some time for myself, man. I just, took
good,
some time, needed it.
We all do.
Sometimes you just need to recharge the batteries, and that's what I did over the last 10 days is I just recharged the batteries.
That's good, dude. Happy to hear that. Were you gonna what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, what do you want to talk about this morning?
Oh, I'm wondering who's gonna get cooked today later on as this BS continues through Twitter and all that. It'll be interesting.
What do you mean? I'm lost. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, people are just talking trash about basketball. It'll be funny.
Is that anything new? That's nothing new.
No, but I will be entertained. At least it won't be clown takes.
Look, man, I think that the basketball. It's so funny because the amount of South Floridians, quote unquote, who are all about the basketball right now and all about hockey are pretty funny, right? But I like it because they're embracing the culture of South Florida in their professional sports team. So people that don't watch hockey and people that don't watch basketball or vice versa, they're watching the other sports and it just helps with, what's going to hopefully be an amazing couple of weeks in South Florida.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's good. I don't care about hockey or basketball at all, so it's kind of whatever for me, but at least they're doing well.
Yeah. And hopefully it means that the Dolphins are next up on the list.
Well, I mean, if a guy's going 26 miles an hour, you'd hope something checks out, right?
Yes, I would hope so as well. Devon A-Chain, I think, is going to be, A-Chain is a very interesting pick because I don't know if he's what we all think he can be. Maybe it doesn't mean that Dalvin Cook's coming here. I am still kind of I don't want to say questioning, but the next 3-4 days will be interesting after June 1st to kind of see where things land.
Agree. Like, would I be upset if we got Dalvin Cook in our backfield was Mostert, Dalvin Cook, and
A-Chain? No way. It would be amazing.
I'd be ecstatic with that.
We would go to one of the best backfields in the NFL from one of the worst.
And we have one of the deepest receiving cores, if not the deepest. It's just tight end in line at that point that I don't love, but tight end I'm okay with.
To be fair, Dalton Risner's still out there. DJ Fluker's still out there. We don't know what's going to happen, but something will, and I hope that it has to do with the O-line. My hope is that they address O-line in some way, shape, or form.
What do you think Isaiah Wynn's going to be?
Say that again.
What do you think Isaiah Wynn's going to be?
I think he's going to be a backup, and I think he's going to get an opportunity to start if Teron Armstead goes down. My hope is that it turns out to be a good thing for them, but we'll have to see.
I disagree with the premise of a backup a little bit.
The last 2 years he hasn't played well. Isaiah Wynn has not. Like, go look at the numbers. He hasn't played well. Now,
you're right. Last year was a bad year.
There are things. So here's what I'm saying. I'm setting my expectations to that. I don't want to put him too up. His floor is a capable backup to Teron Armstead. His ceiling is a potential starter on the offensive line every day. Every Sunday starter on the O-line. He can definitely revive his career here. He's young enough to still do it. He obviously has the talent when he's on, so it'll be interesting.
So I would agree with you that last year was a down year for him, right? I need to go look at the year before that a little bit, but I think they also moved him to right tackle the year before that, and I think that was a mistake because he should play left guard.
I think he was moved there because of injuries, if I'm correct, though.
No, the Patriots had what's that guy's name? Joe Tooney or something like that. Yep. One of the better guards in the NFL. Why would you move a Pro Bowler out?
That's true.
College he played more on the left side anyways, so
I don't know what will happen, but here's what I'll say. Isaiah Wynn, in my opinion, low risk, very high reward, and I think it could prove to be. Let's hope that it proves to be a good pickup, because I was really upset yesterday when they didn't go after Brandon Shell and he ended up signing with Buffalo, because I believe that, Brandon Shell is a very capable backup with potential starter, and he only helps the depth of what is the current offensive line. So I was really upset that the Buffalo Bills got him.
I agree with that. I like Brandon Shell. I think he's capable. I think he's a good backup.
Well, I mean, he might have a potential to start in Buffalo, and if I'm gonna tell you right now, if he ends up starting in Buffalo, I'm gonna be a little pissed off, because he's a really good backup. So I think that Buffalo's offensive line got better with the signing of Brandon Shell, and that sucks for us.
I mean, Buffalo still has the same problem. They don't run the ball. Like, philosophically,
but let's say they go out and get Dalvin Cook. If they go out and get Dalvin, like they're not. I don't think they're.
The assumption you're making is that they don't have capable backs. Their backs aren't bad. They just fundamentally don't run the ball. It's not in their DNA. It's not their philosophy.
Josh Allen runs.
Okay. QB scrambles and runs. That's not your running back running the ball. That's not
I understand. I'm just saying. Look, I don't disagree that the developmentation of the Buffalo run is something that would yield nice results for them, and they haven't done that yet. But I do believe that they're putting some pieces into place to bolster that O-line. If they somehow get Dalvin Cook, oh my God, I'll be pissed off. And for no other reason than it just makes Buffalo better. Not that we missed out on him, just that crap. He went to Buffalo. But man, it'll be interesting. Marino's Ghost says Cook will not be the number one running back spot from his brother. Will not take the number one running back spot from his brother in Buffalo.
It's probably true. Like Dallas would be more of a threat right now, it seems like.
Oh, what, for Dalvin?
Yeah.
I mean, they just re-signed Tony Pollard.
You're not talking more than a 3-year deal.
I know, but I don't think you're going to put that much. We talk about the NFL not being appreciative of running backs. We're going to expect an NFL team to pay some top dollars to Dalvin Cook and Tony Pollard. I don't think that's going to happen.
Look at who you're talking about. How much did how much did Jones pay for Elliott?
When he paid Deshaun, Deshaun Elliott, Ezekiel Elliott, he had deserved that contract, quote unquote, at the time, right? Like the hype was there. He'd come off a big year, a couple of years.
He's still way overpaid.
Oh, I'm not. Well, running backs in general are, according to the NFL, and it can be argued that in general. So, I think that Zeke. I don't know. Has Zeke signed anywhere? By the way,
no,
he hasn't. He's a free agent right now, so that's another thing, right? Ezekiel could sign it. I think everybody's waiting. The reason why Zeke hasn't signed is we're waiting to see what happens with the Dalvin Cook situation. If Dalvin Cook goes to Miami, he goes to Buffalo. If Dalvin Cook goes to Buffalo, Zeke probably goes to, I don't know, but he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think we have an interest in Zeke, but Dalvin Cook, I can see interest. But Jerry Jones.
Has DeAndre Hopkins signed anywhere officially yet?
I don't think so.
See, that's another name too, right? DeAndre Hopkins will be very interesting.
Well, do you hear the kind of money that he's theoretically looking at?
He's wanting to get paid, right? And there's 4 or 5 places he could end up, right? He could end up in New York with the Jets. The Jets have already tried to go after big name players and have failed, minus trading the world, quote unquote, for Aaron Rodgers, a guy who was 95% retired. I would have said Baltimore, but they spent 15 to 18 million on Odell Beckham. Are they really going to spend that same kind of, if not more money, for another wide receiver there? It's plausible because they want to keep Lamar happy now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there in Baltimore. The other spot DeAndre Hopkins could end up is in Dallas, right? I've heard that name. Jerry Jones, don't put it out of the frame of mind that, he tries to pull a sign to, what do you need to go get DeAndre Hopkins? And there's probably still a couple of other teams that are there for the taking to go get DeAndre. I'll tell you a sleeper team. I don't think it'll happen because there's no quarterback there, is New England. I think, Belichick sees the value of of having a DeAndre Hopkins type talent at wide receiver. He saw it with Randy Moss when Brady was there, right? And so I don't think ultimately it will happen anymore. But best believe I think there's probably internal discussions about Belichick going after them.
Agree with that.
And Buffalo. Buffalo is another team that could potentially go after that, and they could have their own DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs 1-2 punch. That'd be rough to face. And if they imagine, God forbid, knock on wood, if they end up with Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins,
Steven, you realize they have to restructure people just to get DeAndre Hopkins.
They would most definitely have to, but I'm not
Like
putting it
you
out.
want to stack another 8 million on top of that
Well,
for
I mean,
another.
what do we say all the time down here? And it's fair. The Dolphins manipulate the salary cap. Why can't other teams manipulate the salary cap? It can be done.
It's not that the salary cap hasn't been manipulated. They've already done some of it. They don't have a ton of levers left to pull.
No, I agree. I agree.
Do
I
it?
don't see
Yeah,
Buffalo.
but they
I don't see
absolutely
Buffalo
screwed
necessarily
themselves.
getting one of them, let alone both of them. But I'm saying it's possible.
Yeah.
And it's scary to think about if it does.
So let
and
me
I'm
ask
not
you
afraid to
this.
admit that. Huh?
If they get, what scares you more, if they get Hopkins or if they get Cook?
Buffalo?
Yep.
They're both equally scary because they bring different things to the fold, right? If DeAndre Hopkins goes to Buffalo, you have Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins on both sides. Plus, you have Dawson Knox there at tight end, and the new guy that they just got, I can't think of his name.
Cade.
What is it?
Kincaid,
right? And you still got Dalvin Cook's little brother there, and they, in my opinion, I think Brandon Shell upgrades the current line that's there because it gives them more depth. I think that would be a very scary thing to think about with Josh Allen, who throws the ball like crazy. If he had DeAndre and Steph on either side, that'd be rough. Now, if DeAndre doesn't go there, you still already have an explosive offense. You add Dalvin Cook to the fold. Dalvin Cook could do for you exactly what he could do for Miami. He can come out of the backfield. He can catch passes. He can block. He can get you short yardage. He can break a run out and go crazy. So I think that I think Dalvin Cook makes more sense in Miami than he ever does in Buffalo. But we'll have to see, because you're right. The Dolphins do have Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Devon A-Chain, and Dalvin Cook would just be part of that group. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting. Bobby Supreme says, "Good morning, Stephen D. We missed part of taking in the show daily, but been catching up. Also missed you this past week. Good to have you back. I appreciate it, man. Thank you." All right, Robert. Anything else before I let you go, buddy?
No, man, you're good. You have a good day. Be safe.
Appreciate it, man. Missed you, brother. Be good.
All right, bud. Catch you later.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'll take a couple more people on if you want to get in. I just dropped the link in the bottom of the chat. Feel free. I'm actually going to pin it to the top of the page too. That way you guys have it there. Feel free to come on for a couple of minutes. I'll take a couple of more of you on here in the last 10, 15 minutes of the show. Whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to talk about the Heat, NBA Finals. You want to talk about the Panthers, Stanley Cup Finals. You want to talk about, Brandon Shell going to Buffalo and how that'll impact Buffalo and how Miami kind of missed out on adding more depth to the O-line. What does post June 1st look like for the Miami Dolphins? Is Dalvin Cook a part of that plan? What happens with Cedric Wilson? Where does Cedric Wilson go from here? That'll be another interesting thing to see, right? There's so many moving parts over the next couple of weeks for South Florida sports, and it's going to be so much fun to watch, keep an eye on, and most importantly, just take it all in. And that's what I plan to do over the next couple of weeks with South Florida sports, is just relax and enjoy the show and hope that, we win a couple of championships and the Dolphins make a couple of really good key moves, and they set themselves up pretty nicely. So come, the start of training camp, they're looking pretty. All right, next person I got up here, my man Shake Money. Good morning, Shake. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Missed you, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. I'm glad to see you back. I had to hop on real quick just to tell you welcome back. And yeah, man, I know everything was okay, because if not, we would have heard about it. And I just want to tell you it was a much needed vacation, but I'm glad you're back, bro.
I appreciate it, Shake. I for those of you who don't know, Shake's got a great show called In the Blender with Shake Money, and does a lot of great content over on 5 Reasons Sports. So make sure.
Larry, Fanatic Fury fan, you mean?
Well, that show's on Larry's channel, but
yeah,
you also do a lot of great content on
the Fins Tailgate.
The Fins Tailgate too. Did I say 5 Reasons Sports? I meant
5 Reasons. Yeah. I love 5 Reasons too. Don't get me wrong.
There's so many people I got to keep track of. No,
that's all good. That's all good.
So shout out to the Fins tailgate crew. I apologize, guys. It's my first day back.
You're all good, man. By the way, tonight I'm gonna be doing my a special Tuesday edition of In the Blender with Larry K. This time.
Larry K. coming on his own show, coming on the show on his own channel. I like it, man.
He's gonna. Of course.
Larry K. is a really good guy, man. There's a lot to like about him, and the same thing that I was talking about with Nikki Smokes earlier. There's a lot of great people in the community that
of course
it's about the grind, right? And it's about getting to where you want to go. And
yeah, man.
Some people.
I tell you what, man. Nikki Smokes this.
I don't know what happened to Shake, but he dropped off. That wasn't me. That wasn't me, man. Lewis, get up here. I missed you, buddy. Get up here for a couple minutes, Lewis. I know you out here working. Who else is up in here? Bobby, you come up here and say hello. Cap, come up here and say hello. Marino's Goat, Crazy Doll Fan, Teapot. Who else is up in there? Andres. All right, there we go. All right, what happened?
My bad.
What were you about to say?
I said Nikki Smokes is very inspirational. It shows you right there, if you put in the work, what could happen. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. He is definitely one of those guys that he's been doing it for about 5 years now. So, he definitely 5+ years on the grind. So, he's
and same with you. I and like you said, I've looked at when you hopped in the blender with me, I was looking at old footage, to use as talking points. And you're right, it has grown immensely since you.
It is, man. It's evolution. It's evolution, Shake. It's about growing and getting better and evolving to what is, a fine-tuned product. And I'm not anywhere near I want to be yet. But I'm getting there with your guys' help, watching, donating, hitting the like button, all that stuff. All right, Shake. I love you, brother. Be good, man.
Hey,
guys, go watch Shake Money.
I appreciate it. Don't hey, I tell you what, man. I want to be the first city to get 3 championships from the so let's do this, baby.
I would love to see it, man. Miami, the Dolphins, the Heat, and the Panthers would be awesome. Would love to see it. And maybe even the Marlins. Maybe even the Marlins. All right, brother. Be good, man.
Appreciate you.
Fins up. All right, Miami sports music. Miami, trust the process. 89. Is this Kane's 1989?
Yeah, what's up, Steven?
What's going on, man? How are you? Missed you, buddy.
I'm good. Long time no see, man.
Long time no see, man. I'm back. I'm ready to go.
Everything good?
Everything's good, man. I just, like I was telling people, I just sometimes you just got to take a step back and you got to woosah.
That's true.
Get your stuff together. So that's what I did the last 10 days.
Especially nowadays, life is too stressful.
Life can be very stressful, and to be perfectly honest, a lot of the stress came from just personal stuff.
Well,
and, it's all good. It's just
sometimes life be that way.
Sometimes life bees that way. You are correct, Kane's 1989.
I mean, I'm going through it too, so you're not alone.
Hey, man, we're all going through something. Real quick, what do you want to talk about? Real quick.
I just wanted to come up and say hi and see what you thought about the Heat.
Man, look, I think ultimately that the Heat are gonna have a really tough time with Denver, but as somebody was saying in the chat earlier, and I completely agree with it, they have every team that they played this postseason has had a lot more talent than what they've had on their bench, and they've outplayed every single one of them.
Right.
And there's no reason to think that the Nuggets are any different for the Heat. It is a team that obviously is out-talented, has a lot more talent than the Heat does, but the Heat have been showing all postseason long that don't underestimate them, and they don't care about the talent. It's about work ethic. It's about the grind. It's about heart. It's about grind. It's about to sing the rock version. The rock rap. I can't think of the name of the song, but nonetheless, man, it's it's a lot that they're going to have to do and have to endure playing in a 7-game series against Denver, but they can do it. They can definitely do it.
I got us in 5 or 6.
I think the series is going 6 or 7, man. I think it's going to go the distance. One way or the other. I think it's going to go 6 or 7.
Yeah, what about the Panthers?
Panthers, I think, are going to go 5 or 6, man. I don't know if it goes 7 games. I think it goes 5 or 6.
You're taking Florida, right?
I don't want to say I'm picking anybody, man. Vegas is a good team, man. The Golden Knights, they play some great hockey, man. I watched the last few of their games, and I went and did a deep dive, and they're good. They're a good hockey team, man.
I think Florida's got the better team on paper.
I like to Chuck more than anybody else on the ice, but that only means so much. We have a hot goalie right now, right? And Bob, and that says something, but we'll have to see. Thursday morning, make sure you check us out here on Clock Blockers. I'm going to have Armando on from Locked On Heat, or Locked On Panthers hockey, excuse me. And we're going to be discussing the Stanley Cup Finals and a preview of what that will look like starting Thursday night. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Hey, did you get a hold of Miami Flow?
I have not yet, man. Dude, I've been in my own world for the last couple of weeks, man. So I will reach out to him. I will.
He's friends with Dono, so that should make it easier.
You mean Alex Dono? Dono's my guy. Love Dono.
Yep. He's cool.
I love everybody over there at the Lockdown family. They're good people, but Dono's a good friend of mine, so I do love Dono. All right, Canes 1989. I love you, brother. I appreciate you.
Later, and stay safe and take care.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. Anybody else? Lewis. Hold on, where's my thing? Lewis, Rabbit Dolphin. Bring your butt up here now. Lewis, get up here. Hit the link. Hit the StreamYard link. Let's go. I missed you, buddy. Yeah, make sure you get up here, Lewis. I'm glad to be back. Today was a good day. Good show. If you guys missed any part of it, we had Wes Goldberg on. Had some technical difficulties earlier, but that's okay. We took care of it. Nando Talk hung out with me for Hot Take Tuesday as usual. And then we had Barstool Sports' newest employee. I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nikki Smokes, and live from Boston, hungover. But man, I'm excited for him. It's a genuine smile, just really excited for that guy and what he's got going on. And man, we're doing big things over here. Want to remind you guys, tomorrow is the last day for the pre-sale for the 2023 Miami Sports Music Tailgreeter Tailgate Tour. The Baltimore Beatdown. Go to tailgreeter.com, search Baltimore Beatdown, find our thing there. And we got Saturday night meet and greet free event. We got game tickets. And we have all-inclusive tailgate, all you can drink, all you can eat in Baltimore. Make sure you guys come. We're also setting up a New Year's Eve party now, too. And so be on the lookout for more information about the New Year's Eve party that evening. So we're going to be doing big things in Baltimore for New Year's Eve. If you're going to come to Washington, the FedEx takeover, absolutely amazing. Same exact thing. Saturday night meet and greet, game tickets, all-inclusive tailgate. Go to tailgreeter.com, search FedEx takeover. Search FedEx takeover. And you will see all our stuff there. Go get your tickets now. Prices increase on Thursday. They're going up. So make sure you guys go do that. Philly, same exact thing. The Philly Finvasion. It's going to be a great opportunity for y'all to come and hang out. Saturday night meet and greet, game tickets, all-inclusive tailgate. Get your tickets now. Search Philly Finvasion. At the end of this week, by the end of this week, we're going to have links for hotel group rates. We partnered with 3 hotels in each city. We're signing all the contracts today. That's what I'm doing this afternoon. And we're going to have a hotel hotel partners and group rates that are affordable for each city, man. And I'm super excited. The one we got in DC is a few blocks away from the White House. That's really cool. It's in the center of Washington, DC. So if you've never been and you want to go to Washington, DC, this is the trip to go, because we're going to be smack dab in the middle of all the, Washington Monument, Jefferson Memorial, White House, everything. It's Martin Luther King's statue. I'm super excited about DC. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then that Saturday is going to be great with the meet and greet at DuPont Circle. And then, that morning, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be good. So I hope to see you all. If you haven't gotten your tickets, go get it now. Philly Finvasion, FedEx Takeover, Baltimore Beatdown. Okay. Make sure y'all go do that. If you guys want to go to any of the games in Miami or in Denver or in Vegas, make sure you hit up Less is More Events. Line tickets, 202-930-3533. If you want to go to any of the NHL Stanley Cup finals or NBA finals, make sure you guys go hit up Lime to get your tickets, man. It's good stuff. All right. I love you guys. Big shout out to our other sponsors, ZSM Sports and Tailgreeter. Absolutely amazing. It was a great show today. I enjoyed hanging out with y'all. It was a lot of fun. Got a big show tomorrow. Bryant McKinney hanging out with us tomorrow. Be here bright and early for Bryant McKinney. And then tomorrow's Wildin' Out Wednesday. And I'm going to have everybody on tomorrow, so it'll be fun hanging out and talking with y'all. It'll be good stuff. I love y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Peace. Hit the like button. Donate to the channel if you like today's show. Donate. We can't grow without your help. Make sure y'all do that.
My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowing when to go with fit. So we knowing when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we in rock. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't want to overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, league gon' notice now. You should notarize it. They say 2 or from that rock. Shout out to some more.